looking at the video. Sorry. Oh God, I've just realised my mic. No, okay, I think my mic's been on. Hopefully my mic hasn't been on all this time. I'm just worried that you guys have just heard all that. I don't think it has been, but yes, we are live, guys. I do believe, and we are definitely, well, I am definitely rough around the edges right now because I'm changing my audio as we speak, as I talk. Anyway, we are live, guys. I think we're all good, and I think, hopefully you can hear us. We are back for the Indie Games podcast. It's been a very long time, way long, so really appreciate you guys coming back in, and any of you new folk that are coming through, thank you so much for joining us for the first time. I think I see someone in there which I've not seen before, but yeah, amazing seeing you guys in for the podcast. Like I say, it's probably been, according to the YouTubes, about 4 months since the last podcast, which is kind of crazy if that's correct. That seems wrong, but it might actually be true. I think the last one was done was the sort of roundup of EGX, so that is kind of crazy. I may have that wrong, but it is a long time either way. But we are back, as I say, and we are definitely getting this party started again. It's been, like I say, the first one of 2024, so lots of amazing indie games coming out this year that we are so ready to discuss. And yeah, thank you to the chat for joining us. But let's jump into some introductions because it's been so long since I've actually got to chat, not in a DM, with these legends. So yeah, and it's amazing to have all four of us here tonight. That is one thing I'm so excited about. So firstly, Judzilla, my man, how have you been? And yeah, welcome to the show. Great to speak to you again, my man.
Thank you very much. We are not called the Awesome Foursome at all, but we are here. And it's awesome to be back and see all the cool people in the chat again. And yeah, it's been a long time, mate. Been a long time. And please let us know in the chat if our audio is bad, which mine usually tends to screw itself up, which is ironic. But yeah, I'm glad to be here, mate, and look forward to talking to you gentlemen as well in real life.
Indeed,
so yeah, let's
kind of
get
thing.
into it now.
Nice, bro. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for saying that because this is the first podcast in a while, as I've mentioned. So if there's something someone says it was muted, I hope that doesn't mean is muted as well. So that's made me nervous. Can you hear us, guys, before we proceed? Can you hear Juds and can you hear myself? Just give us a little thumbs up in the chat and we will feel reassured and ready for action. But yeah, I think we're all good now. I can see readings coming through on mine. Little cheeky thumbs up from anyone like Meisuko or anyone in the chat. Just let us know if you can hear both myself and the legends that are joining me, including Judzilla. Thank you, Meisuko. That's brilliant. Okay, let's move on.
Hold on.
Yep.
No, we can't move on there. You just said the legends that are joining me and Judzilla. That doesn't make me a legend at all, does it?
No, you're beyond legend. You transcend legendary.
He's backtracking.
He is backtracking.
I didn't mean it to come out like that. Not at all.
Well, yeah. Anyway, it's been great. I'll see you later.
That was the end of that then. I did not mean it like that. You know what my brain's like.
Yeah, no worries, it's all fun.
Anyways, transcend legend. There you go, Meisuko said it. Moving on then to the next guest. I'm now reassured and I can function slightly better in the brain department, hopefully. Luke, my friend, it's been way too long. We've chatted lots in the DMs, of course, but it's great to be actually on a show with you again. I can't wait to chat some games with you. How you been, bro?
Yeah, been very well, thank you. And yeah, it's been quite a while, hasn't it? For some vocal chatting.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to it. There's lots to talk about, lots of games to talk about in particular. But to be honest, I think probably me and Scott will just make it about Balatro for about 2 hours. So enjoy that, I guess.
Thanks. Thanks so much. So yeah, good stuff. Well, we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that game because it's blown up and taken over the world, it seems. So yeah, looking forward to hearing what you guys have been doing in that game, which is probably having a lot of addictive fun, I imagine. But yeah, we'll come back around to that. We've got lots to dive into. But yeah, firstly, let's go over to the final guy on the awesome foursome, as Juds has now named us, because I was thinking the names we've had in the past are no longer working for us 4 of us. But yeah, we have got Scott the Legend. He's a recent addition on the regular anyway, so it's great to be now actually getting back to this, and this will be a regular thing again, guys, so don't you worry, we are back in your lives. But yeah, Scott, my friend, how you doing? And yeah, what you been up to, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, Indy. Thank you very much. I know it's been, what did you say, like 4 months or so since the last one. Been even longer for me because I missed the past couple of indie games podcasts.
Yes.
I'm ashamed to say.
That's true.
So it's good to be back. It's good to finally be to be able to chat games with you guys. As you say, we've got a lot to chat about. And like Luke says, it's just Balatro. Honestly, it's and we'll get into it in more detail. But it is the indie game of the moment. I think it has taken the world by storm somewhat, which is excellent to see.
Yeah.
And I've been certainly enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to chatting with Luke about it. So, but yeah, really looking forward to the show. I appreciate you having me on as always, mate.
No, it's a pleasure, my friend. Yeah, like I say, it's always hard to get us all four together, and this is great. 4 of us together, legendary. Hopefully we can keep that up going forward and keep the show coming because, you know, like I say, a little break was good, but yeah, I've been rethinking quite a bit about the channel and stuff. Always trying to get feedback. I did a little stream the other day of Pacific Drive, as some of you guys might have seen. I was thinking maybe doing a bit more game streaming, but I think I'm not sure about that. I think what I'm going to do, because my passion is the videos, is to keep the videos flowing as much as possible, but I think the podcasts keep that flowing too, and that might be a good balance. I know that kind of feels like I'm going around in circles to what's the focus. I didn't get anyone coming at me saying I had a couple of people, I suppose, saying they like the game streams, but you know, we'll do the occasional game stream, but I think the focus is going to be keeping the podcast regular and keeping the videos regular as well. But I definitely am always up for hearing your thoughts, guys, because I did say after the last stream, you know, let me know your thoughts on what you want to see on the channel, what type of content, but there wasn't everyone there, of course. So, you know, definitely let me know in the comments, definitely let me know in the chat, and I'm always reading it and always taking it on board. So thank you very much for your feedback if you decide to give any. But yeah, thank you very much for being here, guys. We've got some great names in there. We've got Dragon Wolf coming through. Great to see you, my friend. Meisuko, always a pleasure, my friend. I know you said you've missed the show, so I'm glad we could bring it back for you. So thank you for being here. We've got Thimber as well. Thank you so much for being in. We have Paul, a very high supporter of the channel, always there, always being a legend and playing some great games and always taking my recommendations, which I appreciate. So yeah, like you've been playing a lot of games I've been recommending and thoroughly enjoying them. So I always feel good about that. And it's always nice to be able to pass on some passion for gaming that someone else takes up upon. So I'm glad you're enjoying the games you've been playing, my friend. And we've got Smokis in the house as well. Thank you very much for coming through. We've got Max too. Great to see you back in, my friend. And Smokeback, of course, who has just rebranded his indie development sort of company kind of thing. He's making an indie game, by the way, if you didn't know. Yeah, I shared it out recently, about an hour ago on Twitter, the new brand name that he's going to be going in, but feel free to drop that into the chat if you like, my friend. But it's over on Twitter. Let people know about it. Let's get Smokeback some followers for the indie game that you're making. But yeah, it's also feel free to drop it in the Discord. But let's get jumping on into maybe some games we've been playing. I know what games you've been playing, boys, Luke and Scott, that is. But yeah, well, let's go around and hear what everyone's been up to on the recent. So Judzy Baby, what have you been playing lately, bro?
Well, interesting, because I spoke about this on Scott and Luke's the show, the Untitled
Goose Game.
Gaming
Oh no, sorry.
Podcast.
You were so close, Juds, so close.
Untitled Games Podcast.
Games podcast.
Games.
Yeah.
It's
My
like the
apologies.
indie gaming podcast. Everyone gets this one
Yeah.
as well.
It's going to be an evening of cock-ups on our,
That's
on our
cool.
end here, I
Not
think.
that guy, no.
No, absolutely not. We need you and Daz to get that sorted out. But no, so this is a long preamble for a really boring story. But
Sorry.
no, it's good. It's a game on Game Pass called the Lamplighter League.
The Lamplighter League.
Yeah. Oh my God, what did I call it, Luke? Earlier, I'm nearly through my second playthrough. Now,
How the hell do you not know what it's called then?
It's been a week, mate. I tell you, this is just this is the end of it.
I love it.
Lamplighters League.
It's the XCOM style.
Yes.
Oh, is
game,
it?
isn't
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now,
Sounds
this was a bit of a cheat because Hairbrained were under Paradox, I think.
I think
Right.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've come out now, and they're back. They've come out from under Paradox, and they're now an indie studio again.
good. Oh, cool.
So, yeah. So that game's been fantastic. I've finished that, and I'm going through it again. It's absolutely awesome. Jusson, I have
Wow.
completed and 100%ed.
Nice.
I love that game.
100% as well. Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great, isn't it?
just it's fantastic. It's so relaxing, but it's like, you get to your next stage and it's like, right, just look around.
Yeah.
Just look around. There's stuff to find all over the place.
Yeah, all the little story nuggets and that.
Yeah, the story nuggets, the little rock piles
rock
you
piles,
stick
yeah.
up, and the canvases and all that. Just such a great game. Very different, of course, to everything else. And once
It's
you get
amazing.
used to the climbing mechanics, you can get really fast at climbing
Yeah,
as
you
well.
can. Yep, definitely.
So yeah, that was really good.
It's great.
And then one of the others, I guess, is Cocoon again. Finished that, 100%ed that little monkey. What a game! What a game!
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
But I'm not going to front here, gentlemen, because why would you? I had to use a guide on some of that because it's like Inception of video games. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know who I am anymore. What's going on? I'm going to go into this world and then take
that
one.
That explains why he's so frazzled, Juds, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it probably does actually. Yeah.
Because those, particularly towards the end, when you're kind of inside a world, inside another world, inside another world, it does get a bit bonkers.
It absolutely does. Line this up to shoot into this portal, which comes out in the other portal in the other world.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
clever.
It's crazy. So clever. Such an incredible game.
Definitely.
So I love that. That was beautiful. The other one I started recently, indie, as you know, is Dark.
Oh yeah,
not
nice.
a new game, of course. But
how are you getting on with that?
Yeah, I've done. I think
more puzzle
I'm on
action.
second or third level right now.
Yeah, cool.
Really enjoying that. Yeah, beautiful game.
It's really cool. That's got really cool puzzle mechanics in it as well, which are quite unique once again.
Yeah, it's really
brilliant.
Really good.
Very underrated gem, that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Just love the theming of it. The whole black and white and the aesthetic looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll leave it there with those 4 or 5, mate.
Lovely.
I won't, because I've also got Pacific Drive, which I haven't played yet.
That's all right. Let's go.
Which is crazy because I was watching your stream, of course.
Yeah.
And it was downloading, and I just haven't got round to playing it yet. So I was going to hope to play it today, but I've been out. So
cool, man. Yeah, no, once you get into that, it's quite a immersive thing. You sort of get sucked into a big chunk of it, and it's best to pay it in large chunks per mission, maybe, like, if you know what I mean, because you can't save mid-mission and stuff, just to let you know.
Absolutely.
So, it's like rogue aspects, so you want to clear a mission and then sort of think back to the garage, and then sort of, if you were thinking about maybe you've got another extra hour in you or something, or if you maybe want to come back next time, so kind of play it in that sort of way, I would, if you see what I mean.
I'll tell you what, mate, I'll play it, and we'll speak about it on the next regularly scheduled Indie Gamer podcast.
So even you did it. You did Indie Gamer podcast. I told you.
That was to wind you up, in fairness.
I told you people get it wrong, even you.
It worked.
Yeah, definitely. Amazing. That's awesome, bro. Yeah, that's good to hear you've been playing some cool games. There was obviously Steam Nextfest as well. We could always talk about that at some point if any of you guys played any games from that, but we'll get around to everyone's games they've been playing, which obviously we know what Scott and Luke are going to talk about, but there may be some other cool games as well. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear about your feelings on Balatro. Is that how we pronounce it, guys? But yeah, Luke, tell us what you've been playing, what you've been enjoying, my man.
Yeah, I've been playing quite a lot recently, actually. So been playing a pretty obscure indie game called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's the first I've heard of it. So that's the most recent thing. I won't go too much into that, but I've got a list of what I've been playing, and that's one of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
With the waifus, Luke. I think it is, isn't
it? Yes. Yeah, playing that. I've been playing Helldivers 2. Which is quite rare for me because I'm not, as everybody knows, a big multiplayer guy, but I really love that game. I think it's excellent. And then beyond that, obviously, Balatro, lots, which me and Scott will talk about ad nauseum, I would imagine. Which is, like... it's difficult to describe how addictive that game is, but it's really high up there in terms of just a very Moorish game, and I found myself playing it in between bigger games as well. I think it's really good for that.
Definitely.
You know, if you want to, I'm sure Scott, you may have been playing it, you know, alongside Persona 3, which is a huge game.
I've been playing it while playing other games. I'm not.
Wow,
I
that's like
that
Vampire
far.
Survivors kind of thing.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
It's very much one of those. Oh, I'll do one more run.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that. I've also been playing Penny's Big Breakaway, which, if people haven't seen that, is a 3D platformer made by the studio that developed Sonic Mania. But it's,
nice. Yes.
It's their own IP.
Yeah.
And it's studio excellent. It's really good. It runs like a dream. I've played it exclusively on the Steam Deck OLED. It runs like locked 90 FPS on that. And it just looks fantastic. It's a really cool platformer. And again, it's kind of one of those games where I'm playing it in between bigger stuff. Because, you know, nature of 3D platformers, you just do a level and then you're on to the next. And that can be really nice to go to. So I've been playing that. Next on the list is Pacific Drive, which I have downloaded, installed, ready to go. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna get through. I've said I need to at least finish Penny's Big Breakaway before I start that, and then I'll go into it.
Yeah, there's only a certain amount you can juggle at once, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's stuff like Helldivers and Balatro, like you can always be playing those because they're just the nature of them. But I think anything more than, you know, a big massive JRPG and then also, you know, a fairly lengthy platformer, not too long, but you know, it's got some hours in it. So yeah, that's about it, really. So yeah, quite a lot.
Pretty damn cool. Fantastic, buddy. Great to hear your takes again. Oh, it's nice to be back. Let's hear Scott's takes on the games he's been playing.
Yeah, I mean, Luke's touched on it. Balatro is essentially the cocaine version of indie games, I guess, or the indie game version of cocaine. One of the two. Hopefully, it doesn't get demonetized.
It's okay. It won't make a lot anyway. So good.
But it's just highly addictive. In a way that I've not really experienced in a game in a little while. To be honest, like I say, I was playing it while playing other games. You know, like I was playing. You know, I've been playing like Halo and Apex and things like that. Some of my more live servicey games that I play with friends, and just while I'm playing, I've got it just on my lap on my Steam Deck next to me, and I'll just play like a hand when I'm dead, and then I'll go back to the game and play another hand next time I die. It's just a lot of fun, and really easy to pick up and play. I think, especially, I mean, even if you're not maybe kind of familiar with poker in any way, I think it's really easy to understand, and it's really easy to understand, like, this hand is better than this hand. But even then, your understanding from a poker perspective really becomes irrelevant as the game progresses, because you upgrade hands. So maybe a worse hand in poker becomes a better hand than higher hands because you've upgraded it. Got a couple of strats on that at the moment. Flushes and two pair are definitely the strats to go for. It's just it's unbelievable fun, and as Luke said, I think he nailed it when he said it's Moorish. It's just a game you want to keep coming back to. I streamed it a couple of times as well, and that time just flies by. I think I did like an hour and a half yesterday until I got another win, and it was just it was like, Christ, that's an hour and a half just gone. So it's a lot of fun. We can go into it in a bit more detail in a little bit if you like, but I've also been playing Pacific Drive.
Nice.
I'm maybe like 2 hours in, so you know, not quite as much as you. I'm ashamed to say that every one of my runs so far has ended up with my car upside down, which I'm really unsure like how that happens. I don't know if that happened to you, Indy.
It's a very unpredictable game, so I can understand. That's the whole
every single run so far, I've ended up upside down. I'm just like, what am I meant to do here?
It's not happened to me on that, I have to say, though. But it did almost happen in the stream. I don't know if you saw it, where I was about to get the marker thing, and then all of a sudden, out the ground grew out. Like, you know, did you see that bit when the car was in the air, like, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
that was unpredictable.
So I think it's happened 3 times. So one time was like the streams of water. I think knocked the car up. Another one was like you say, where it was kind of just the ground coming up.
Yeah.
And another time was one of those, I don't know what they're called. I can't remember what they're called. The little floating robots kind of picked my car
The
up.
bunnies, they're called, I think.
Yeah, and
Bunny,
when
yeah.
it landed, it was upside down.
The ones that bob around all over
that's
the place, kind of thing, and then attached
Yeah.
to your car. Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can you can bash
those-
them off the car, just to let you know, with your with the
Funny
tool.
you say that. I was playing earlier on and wanted to attach to the car.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize what had happened, and my car was going
Right.
ballistic. The
Yeah,
radio
yeah.
was on, the lights were going on and off, the
Love
wipers
it.
were going on and off. I was like, what is going on? So I
So cool.
drove for about 6 or 7 minutes. And I
Oh,
was
really?
like, right, this is doom, man. And I got out the car and I was like, what the fuck is that on the roof? So I had to get rid of that, and that fixed it. So
Right. Cool,
yeah, fairly early into Pacific Drive, but I've enjoyed what I've played so far. Admittedly, I'm struggling a little bit with some of the survival mechanics.
Okay.
My car is completely wrecked, and I just don't have enough material at the moment to craft the stuff that I need. When I did a run earlier, there was just radiation everywhere, which meant I really struggled to kind of get out my car to go and scavenge.
Right. So you're obviously
probably
scavenging back at the garage, and you're using the friendly dumpster and all that, yeah?
Yes.
Because that usually throws you a bone if you're a bit low on resources and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And anything you can use the my God, it's gone out of my head. The cutter tool, basically. What's it called again? Jesus, my brain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you can use that to pretty much
the scrapper.
The scrapper. Thank you very much. Don't know where it went in my head, but yeah, you can use that to grind down anything, and then for raw materials, and then build them back up again. But yeah, it's it's hard to know exactly where you would be sort of. So you just run out of resources to strengthen the car, do you say, or?
Yeah, but basically. So I mean, it's just a case of just getting some more.
Yeah,
materials. I think because what happened is in my last run, the car got that battered.
I think it sounds like it.
Took a lot of work to repair it. Which
just keep an eye on the old readings of everything, like the radiation, all the different readings are all there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And usually you'll be able to see when things are going on and around. Don't park your car near to the electricity things and all that sort of thing, so it can still get affected by that kind of thing, and then it will carry on.
Yeah,
for a bit, if you know
I've
what I
had
mean.
a few times where I've parked the car where that hasn't happened, where the electric isn't there, and then the electric has appeared while you know, out and about, or some of the radiation has appeared and things like that. So it's a very different game for me. It's not really like any other game.
No.
Obviously, it's got roguelite elements and obviously survival elements, but it's very unique for me. And it's just like the way you manage the car and things like that. You know, like having to actually press the handbrake or put it in drive or switch it on, or like turn the ignition on and change the wipers and stuff like that. I think it's very unique from that perspective. So I'm looking forward to playing a bit more.
Sounds survival focused aspect to it probably isn't the area maybe where you'd play that much of usually, I guess. Would that be right? Because it's quite deep in the survival mechanics. But yeah, once you get used to that, it's great in that regard. Like I said in my preview, I was like, that bit kind of was intimidating at first, but then you get used to it. I think I'm
definitely in that phase.
Yeah.
So I just kind of need to get through it, especially with the survival elements not being something, or like survival games not being games that I typically play. Like it's like that genre in itself is still relatively sort of new. In some regards, because I don't typically play them, but I'm looking forward to playing more. I just need to kind of get over that hump. Now that I've finished a few other games that I was playing, I can maybe focus on it a little bit more.
And when you're out in the world as well, in the zone, there's so much you can pick up. Honestly, it's everywhere. There's stuff. So just a matter of exploring and picking stuff up. There's cars beating up on the side of the road. Just everything you see, just like harvest it, and then you'll be back to full force in no time, I think.
Yeah, so definitely jumping into that. And I've just discovered Moonlight for the Steam Deck as well. Unfortunately, Pacific Drive isn't particularly well optimized for the Steam Deck. Obviously, it's a bit of a hungry game.
Yes.
But having discovered Moonlight, which allows you just to stream from your PC to your Steam Deck, that will probably let me play it a little bit more. I did try just playing via Steam Link, but it really didn't render on the screen particularly well. The screen was really dark. The UI elements weren't great, which is a bit of a shame, I think, actually, because it's like Steam's inbuilt remote play functionality, but Moonlight seems pretty good. So that'll hopefully let me play a little bit more. And then from the indie side, I just picked up Ultros today, actually. So very early in that game, but I'm looking forward to jumping into that. I will say I really like the art style. It was one of the things that really stood out, obviously, when I saw the trailers. But initially, when you play that game, it's almost too vibrant, if that makes sense. Like there's just colors coming at you from everywhere. It's actually a little visually overwhelming in a way.
Interesting.
So
I don't get that at all. Yeah,
I mentioned that when I played the demo, if you remember, Scott. Like the readability initially is quite difficult because everything is so visually interesting. It kind of defies almost like game design, that you kind of have like things that are very visually distinct, so I can interact with this or do this. And I said to you, Andy, I'm sure after you've played the game for a while, that goes away completely, because you'll just your brain will just attune to it. But initially, I do find it a bit overwhelming. But that's not to say that the art style is not amazing, because it is.
There's a lot of things where they have visual cues about different things to pick up, like it glows and all this sort of stuff. I never found it an issue at all, if I'm honest. But maybe on your first glance.
I don't want to say it's necessarily an issue. I think it's just it's got its art style that is very unique and very visually striking. That I think at first it is quite like I say, just a tad overwhelming. I don't necessarily want that to come across like negative. It's just it really does pop in a way that other games don't pop, and I'm not even playing it on an OLED and things like that. I think I understand Luke's what Luke's feeling from the demo, because there's a few times where there was things that are in the foreground that I thought were in the background, or things that were in the background that I thought were in the foreground, because they're so what's the word I'm thinking of?
Present.
I can't. What was that, Andy?
Present.
No, I guess I'll describe the colors. Something that's really bright. Why can't I think of the bloody word? I don't know. Anyway, it's just the colors. The colors kind of just blend with the foreground and the background. So I think at first I was trying to attack things that weren't there to be attacked. And
that's extreme. I never had that at all, honestly. It's weird, isn't it?
Obviously I'm only kind of like 30 to 45 minutes in, so I'm still very new. And I think Luke's right. I could see as I was playing, like I was getting more accustomed to it. But it's just I think it's just a bit of a.
You can change settings if you do find that really particularly annoying. You can tweak the vibrant settings and stuff like that to differentiate it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah,
and I think you can blur the background as well, things like that. There's things you can do for accessibility, but like I say, I wouldn't touch that personally. But if you're having issues, for me personally, I'm just talking about now. I didn't want to touch that because that's what I love about it, the vibrancy and the pop.
I agree. I agree entirely. It's one of the things that attract me to the game. I think it's just something that I didn't really feel from the trailers. When watching the trailers, playing it is just it's a very different visual experience in a weird way, if that makes any sense. But I really like the combat. The audio is actually really good.
Amazing.
The noise on the attack is really satisfying.
It is,
as well. And the upgrade system's interesting. I can't really think of an upgrade system quite like that, where you've got to eat to get the 4 different bars up, and then that kind of dictates what you can get. So I'm looking forward to jumping into that a bit more. It's definitely a game for the Steam Deck as well. So
cool.
I'll tell you what would help read the game, Indy. If I reckon if you gave me or Scott that controller, the Ultros one, I think that probably help a bit.
I was a bit lucky with that one, I have to say. Again, thank you very much to Kepler and Haddock, the developer and publisher, for sending that out to me. If you didn't see that, guys, it's on Twitter. The dev and the publisher sent me out a controller, a DualSense controller, my very first. But custom one of Ultros. So if you wanted to check out what that was like, check out my Twitter, which is scrolling along the bottom. But
you tried it yet, Andy?
I haven't tried it to play. I'm not so sure I'm gonna, because it's just that special, really.
Maybe that little collectors.
Yeah, I may just try it. It's glow in the dark as well. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, so the green bits, I don't know if you remember exactly what it looked like, as in the thumbsticks and the green panel bit near there, that glows in the dark, which is cool. Nice. And yeah, it's just amazing, really. The box, especially, I know it sounds ridiculous, but the box that came in, like I said, I've not bought a DualSense, so I don't know what the box is like on a normal DualSense, but this felt really like hard, like sort of magnetic as well. I don't know if the normal one has that at all, but like there's sort of like as a door on the front which has a magnet bit with the pod in the game which you save in, which clasps together kind of thing.
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
So it's really nice. That's and cool. The art on the actual box on the inside is just so beautiful, obviously, as you'd expect from the game itself. And also, by the way, I bought the deluxe version of the game, which has the soundtrack and the art book, so I highly recommend that if you love the art and the music of the game. Both of those are really cool. Yeah, it's only a couple of quid on Steam if you want to upgrade from the normal version. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, so maybe look, if you butter me up enough, you never know.
You didn't talk about your Pacific Drive swag.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I know, that was amazing as well. It's crazy. I've just been like treated lately, honestly. And both of that is from the same publishers. So again, Kepler are utterly amazing legends. And I'm only a tiny little channel, so for them to sort me out, it's incredible, really. I couldn't be more grateful. But that one is a toolbox, which is awesome because that's part of inside of the game, which you've probably come across if you've played it. But inside of the toolbox came a like bobblehead, which is the bobblehead that you can get in the game. You may have come across as well. There's a air freshener in there. There's like a diorama thing, which has got like a little metal die-cast car in like I say, a diorama scene with a glowing background which changes colours through RGB. Like a instruction guide for the actual car itself, like back in the day one, sort of like from the 80s style. I don't know if you guys would remember that because you're younger, but I remember my dad's instruction manual for his Cortina. Maybe Judsy baby might remember, not saying you're an old man or anything, but
no, you definitely are saying I'm old. That's fine.
I'm just saying we're probably closer age to the other guys. I don't know.
My dad's mate had a Cortina.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, it was like that style that they used to make those manuals in for the cars, and it's got like all these notes written on it, like handwritten onto the actual printed manual, which is super cool. Attention to detail. But yeah, the amount of effort they put into that was incredible, and like I say, couldn't be more thankful to Kepler for sorting that out. So yeah, good stuff, guys. So and they've got some other cool games on the way as well. They're actually the publishers of it's already out, but Sheer as well, which is now coming to Steam soon. You know about that one, don't you, Luke? I think. They published that game as well, and I think they've also got the other one which Scott talked about recently.
It's on my list.
Something. That's it. Thank you very much. Yep. I can always forget the name of that for some reason. So that one as well. So they are pretty on fire in a sense. They are challenging Devolver, I think, with the amazing quality they've got recently. I know it sounds a lot to say that, but Devolver have not had that many amazing ones for me lately. But there we go. That's controversial, eh? But yes,
swag from them.
Yeah, there you go. That's not the reason I say that. But yeah, they're treating me well, I've got to say.
I didn't realize that Kepler did Sifu.
Sifu as well, yeah. That's another great one. Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? It's got a good little catalogue of games they've got on a great roll. So yeah, it's pretty sweet indeed. Cool, guys. So yeah, just gonna read a couple of chat comments, I think, because I asked if everyone's been playing, and we got some great people coming through as well. I know Smokeback's joined us, and Rescue Squad Culp as well. Paul S says you are currently playing Go Mecha Ball Brotato or Brotato. I don't know how you pronounce that. Probably Brotato, isn't it? Because you are a potato. Gisant, Ultros, Ender Lilies, A Little to the Left, and Return to Grace. Excellent stuff. I recommended Ender Lilies, as I always do. You guys know that. And yeah, you took me up on it. I think you're enjoying it. Is that right, Paul? I hope you are. It's an amazing Metroidvania. But yes, what else have we got in here? I won't read that one out. I nearly read that bathroom break. And what else have we got? We got Fimba saying, I feel like Pacific Drive came to that. Came to fix that empty feeling while people wait for Stalker 2. Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't. That wasn't necessarily what I was waiting for, but you know, it's definitely performing extremely well for me. Oh, just to let you know as well, guys, I have still got my Ultros review on the way. It's nearly done now. It's taken forever. Apologies for that. But yeah, there's been a lot going on, and I've been working through it a little bit slower than normal, but chipping away at it, if you see what I mean. But yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing that over the next few days for my Ultros review videos, so keep an eye out for that one. And Dragon Wolf's been playing Spyro Trilogy. Nice. Pretty cool. Good stuff, my friend, and good to see you. So Fimba says he's been playing a mix of Game Pass games and some games I got from Microsoft reward points. Fair enough, buddy. Anything in particular? What else have we got here? Banchow Tactics was playing Rescue Squad Culp, sorry. What else do we have here? And again, the Scope for Pools again, got some good games on here. Games that you finished from 2024. Juggler's Tale, I know Judsy Baby enjoyed that one as well. Close to the Sun, Figment 1, Cookie Cutter, Turnip Boy Robs a Bank, Stray, Anashard, Bluey, and Frog Detective. Good list of games there, my friend. Plowing through those bad boys. Love it. And what's that Dragon Wolf says there? And Mr. Stricken would say you've definitely been a slacker. Yes, he would. I love it. That's a good old Back to the Future reference there. I love that. Cool. Okay, guys. So yeah, maybe we should dive into a bit of the main topic. We can keep this fluid though if you want to go off kilter. That's all good. Free reign. But yeah, some guidance in the sense that we're going to be talking about best indie games we've played of the year so far. And then we'll dive into some we're looking forward to, I suppose we could say. This year, honestly, is, you know, just, in my opinion, it's the best year for indie games. I think it's going to turn out to be. It's already top-notch anyway, so I'm getting in that zone. I think if we get games like Silksong this year, it will just be mind-blowing. But if we don't, it's still going to be top-notch stuff anyway. There's so many amazing Metroidvanias this year, which obviously treats me very nicely. But yeah, just in general, it's a incredible year for indie games. So the fact that we didn't have a podcast up to now is just criminal, really. So apologies. But anyway, let's dive into some games that we've enjoyed so far. Specifically, then Judzilla. What games have you enjoyed so far from 2024? You can, if you're coming up short on that one, excuse the expression, you can always dive into some which you played this year that were from last year. But if you've got ones that were actually come out this year, even better.
Yeah, good question. Mine are pretty much what I've said, I think. I'm trying to think. It's been a struggle to get past playing Lamplighters League.
Yep.
Jusong and Cocoon. And the
Nice.
racing games, of course, have been crazy on those.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, I think 2024, I'm trying to think what I've actually played from 2024. You might want to come back to me.
That's
I
all
mean,
good,
like
no.
I said, I downloaded Pacific Drive and haven't had a chance to fire it up yet, which is just crazy. So yeah, come back to me in a minute, mate.
Sounds good. Yeah, no worries.
My mind.
No worries at all. Have you got any lined up for us, Luke, at the moment on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say Balatro because I'll let someone say Balatro, but,
You're gonna drum it in.
yeah, and this one, and I'll take Penny's Big Breakaway, which doesn't really count as an indie, but it's made by an indie studio, but it's published by Private Division. But that has been really excellent. It's a very, very, very good game. It's just a traditional 3D platformer, which outside of Nintendo, like you don't really get many of those, particularly, good ones. So it's been really refreshing to play that and enjoy it so much. And it's just, I think it just boils down to the fact that, they've completely nailed some really unique mechanics. So the idea is that your character has this a yo-yo basically, and you can use the yo-yo to like dash in the air. You can use it to kind of suspend it in the air and swing from it. You can do like a 360 with it to knock enemies. and you can ride on it as well. You can sort of sit on it and use its momentum, and you can kind of combine all of those things to really get pretty massive momentum in levels, in the same way as you might do in incidentally a Sonic game, when you can just kind of plow on very quickly. But this one in a 3D space, it's got really great music. It's got this kind of like Dreamcast-esque 3D platformer look to the visuals. Like, it's very clean, not super high textured or anything, but it's got a very clean sort of polygonal look. It's really, really good. I really would recommend it if people are looking for something like that, because I know sometimes it can be quite rare to find them. But that's been very good, very, very good.
Cool.
Balatro is just
Yeah.
ridiculous. So
Sure, yeah. How many hours on that so far?
I don't know, maybe like 15, 16, something like that.
Okay, cool.
So
you haven't reached sort of going to council yet?
No, not yet. And I definitely not reached Scott levels.
Sure, yeah. What's he other?
Wise higher than that. I don't know what he is, but he's definitely higher than that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm too much higher. I think I'm like 20, 25.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Just on Penny's Big Breakaway, Luke, I remember hearing about this on Easy Allies, and it was the first time I'd heard about it. It wasn't too long ago, and I know Daniel Bloodworth was really high on it. And you're right, it's interesting that we don't really get too many of these types of games. Like 3D platformers are fairly rare these days, so it's excellent to see I guess the studio tackle it, and for it to get such rave reviews. And I can't think of too many games that have yo-yos as kind of like the main gameplay mechanic as well, so it's very unique from that perspective. It's by the people that made Sonic Mania, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which Sonic Mania is one of the best 2D platformers, I think, period. If I'm being completely honest, it's certainly one of the best Sonic games ever, or 2D Sonics. I think it looks excellent. I'm going to have to check it out because it really wasn't on my radar. But it just checking out now, it does look excellent, and I have heard a lot of good things about the music in particular as well. That's one thing that people say really stands out.
Yeah, it's very good. It's just like a team that clearly gets it. You know what I mean? Like they get how to make something like a good platformer in a 3D space, and everything is in service of doing that, whether it's the music or the level design or the art style, etc. It's very, very good.
Cool, nice. Yeah, fantastic. Sounds good to me. Just to let you know, if you're wondering, I've put Ultros on, which is, if you didn't know what it looked like or anything like that, previous for what we're talking about, just going to put some gameplay on as opposed to every 5 seconds changing it. It's quite hard to keep up with that, I have to admit, so I'm just going to make it a bit more manageable for myself today. I was playing some gameplay at the moment, so like I say, this is the opening hour or so of Ultros, so it's not going to be any spoilers or anything like that, but yeah, just in case you were interested in knowing what the hell is on the screen kind of thing. But yeah, nice stuff there, Luke, my friend. That is awesome. It's good to see the developer being able to make their own game fully this time, rather than having to sort of like make sort of based on another franchise, if you see what I mean, because they're obviously very talented. Isn't their name Christian something? Is that the lead developer, guys?
Yeah, Christian Grayling or something.
Oh, is
like
it
that?
cool? Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Excellent, good stuff. There's quite a few 3D sort of platformers popping up from the indie scene, which is great, because that sort of it died off a little bit. So being supported by that, which is good. But yeah, fantastic stuff. Let's move over to Scott then to find out if you've been any games have been standing out other than Balatro. I keep pronouncing that wrong, probably, but yes. What have you been playing? Obviously, you can talk about Balatro if you want to, but
I think I really should talk about. I don't know if it's Balatro, but I think it's actually Balatro.
I would have. That's what I kept trying to say. Yeah,
I think it's. I did actually look it up because I was like, how actually do you pronounce this? And I think it's based off a Latin word for something. So I believe the correct pronunciation is Balatro, but
Right.
I'm northern, so Balatro.
Sure. Yeah, it changes it.
Anyway, so yeah.
See, we should ask Daz how it's pronounced.
It's. Yeah, I guess for those who aren't familiar with Balatro, if you've I guess been living under a rock a little bit for the past couple of weeks, it certainly has blown up. The latest controversy is it's been given. I don't know if you saw, it's been given like an 18 plus rating out of nowhere,
right,
because
of gambling. Is it?
some ratings board thought it was like actual gambling, rather than it just kind of being themed around poker, which meant I think it got removed from some game stores. So fingers crossed it. Well, yeah, fingers crossed they saw that out. Although it has been incredibly successful so far, I think they said it was like profitable within hours, and I believe it's a solo dev if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
I couldn't really find an awful lot out about them. But yeah, for those who aren't familiar with it, it's a roguelite, poker themed deck builder. So it's honestly, I think its beauty is in its simplicity. You just play poker hands that could be three of a kind, so 3 aces, and you get points. And essentially, the way that it works is so it's run based. You've got 8 antes essentially or 8 rounds to basically complete a run. Although you can't keep going beyond that, but the scoring requirements get pretty bonkers after that. And then within each round, you have 3 blinds. You have small, a big, and a boss. And the small and big are basically just like score requirements. So like the first round's like score 300 points. And then the second one's like score 600 points. And then it's got like a really sometimes incredibly annoying mechanic where the boss blind, not only does it have a score requirement, but it also has something like it will disable or debuff all spades that you play, which means they don't count towards the score. So it's got some sort of additional mechanic on the boss blind that's meant to make it a little bit more of a challenge. And essentially, yeah, you just play your hands to score points. But where it gets really kind of, I think, addictive from my perspective is the use of jokers, the use of planet cards, the use of tarot cards in particular. So you can have 5, or in some cases you can have 6 jokers, and essentially the jokers will be like multipliers and modifiers to the hand that you've got. So an example would be you can just get +8 multipliers if your hand contains a pair. So then when it's calculating the score that you've got, it adds that modifier to the hand, and that helps you increase your score. And essentially what you're trying to do is just get the highest score possible as you go. But you can do a couple of things just to help kind of progress throughout the run. So the first is they've got planet cards, which allow you to upgrade hands. So like I said earlier, 2 hands that I think are really kind of easy to focus on earlier on are 2 pairs or a flush, which is kind of cards all in the same suit. And you can upgrade them. That basically makes those more valuable when they play them. So you get more points and there's a higher multiplier when it's calculating the score. And then you've got tarot cards, which will, they can modify cards. So in your deck, you could convert cards to hearts, and then that might help you go towards more of a flush build, if that makes sense, because all your cards will be hearts or diamonds or whatever it might be. And you just kind of ramp it up as you go, and you're just looking to get as high a score as possible. I think to win a run, you need 100,000 points. So it starts at like 300 in the first hand of the first round, and then towards the end, you have to get up to 100,000. And it's just ridiculously addictive. Like I say, I've played about 25 hours or so at the moment. I think I've got 5 or 6 runs now. And the way that kind of works is you've got different starting decks, and then each deck has different difficulties as well. So you can start with the red deck, which I think gives you kind of 1 additional hand. Or you've got the blue deck, which gives you more discards, or there's just loads of different decks that you play with, and you win a run with 1 deck, you unlock the next deck, and so on and so forth. So it's just been incredibly, fun to play. It's really addictive. It's really Moorish, as Luke said. It's really fun though, and I think the thing I get out of it is it's just got a really good sense of progression as you play, and I think it's just really easy. See, the things that you're doing are making the hands better as you play, and that just makes you kind of want to keep playing. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of the chat have got any questions on Balatro, because I know, like I say, it has blown up, but please let me know if you do
Yeah.
have any. But I would highly recommend it. It's on everything. It's relatively inexpensive. I think you get it on Steam for like £7 or £8
Yeah.
at the moment. I think I saw on CD Keys, so it's
Yeah.
fairly cheap. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it, and it is such a perfect Steam Deck game as well. Like
Definitely.
it's just
Yeah.
great. Like I said earlier, I've got the Steam Deck on my lap while I'm doing other things. I'll play a hand. I'll come back to it in a couple of minutes, play another hand.
Yeah.
Come back to it.
Yeah, no,
definitely
I can see you surprised that it's blown up so much. Would you say, or do you think it's just that hook that like a Vampire Survivors kind of thing?
No, I don't. I wasn't too surprised, if I'm being honest, Indy, because look, you checked out the demo during Steam Nextfest,
Yeah.
I believe, and that kind of got you kind of hooked on it a little bit.
I put like 2 hours into the demo alone, and actually I saw some people posting that they put like 20 hours into the demo.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, I think they've got something here if it can take off.
Yeah.
And it did.
and I think they had a demo before Steam Next Fest, which is I played it then, and it really got its hooks into me. But you kind of saw, well, I first saw it on, I think it was just like, I can't remember, it was a PC games website. I can't remember. I saw a post on Twitter about it when the first demo came out, and I thought I'll check it out. And honestly, the best way I can describe it, Indie, is kind of like the best one of these since Slay the Spire. And
Right.
obviously, Slay the Spire is kind of like almost like the pinnacle of these types of games, and this is definitely the best that I've played since then. And you know, it could very easily surpass Slay the Spire as my favorite sort of deck builder
Ooh,
game.
Nice. That's saying a lot.
And I've seen a lot of people basically saying the same thing. It's the best one of these since Slay the Spire, and obviously a lot of people like Slay the Spire. And I think when you see that, that's awfully high praise, and it gets people excited for that type of game.
Definite. Well, that is very high praise from you. So that's like saying a game is better than Hollow Knight for me, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, I mean, it is like that. You know, if you've played a Metroidvania and you're like, this is as good as Hollow Knight,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
people will know, holy shit, this must be a good game.
Yeah.
It's definitely like that. So
Yeah, amazing.
I would just highly recommend people check it out. If any of that sounds in any way interesting, then please do check it out. It is an awful lot of fun. In fact, I kind of want to be playing it right now.
You probably are, I think.
No, I promise you, I'm not in the end.
I'm surprised.
On the show.
That
My
is
Steam Deck
respect.
is next to me though, and it is calling to me.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. So you can like play it one-handed, like, because I know GoForce was always saying he was like doing his work while he's playing Vampire Survivors one-handed kind of thing. It's like probably one of those things, isn't it?
I'm not too sure if I would play kind of one hand. I will say you do kind of have to focus a little bit, especially on the boss blinds.
Okay,
The stream that I did yesterday, I kind of got caught out because particularly early on when you played it a bit, I think it's easy to get complacent and you just kind of like, I'll just play 3 of a kind here and not really worry about it. And then it's like, oh, now I can only play 3 of a kind because the boss blind restricts you to only playing the same hand each time. So you do have to pay a little bit of attention when you are playing it. So I don't think it's quite like a one-handed game, but yeah, it's just really cool.
Definitely. That is a great shout. I have to grab it at some point. I just think, if I'm 100% honest, it's not usually the kind of thing I get into. I will be 100% honest. I know how amazing it is for what it's doing. It's just, that's like I say, it's like I didn't really get into Vampire Survivors. I don't really get into that sort of, I don't know, stuff where it's just that hook and shorter experience. I don't know. Think about it.
I personally wouldn't compare it in any way to Vampire Survivors. Personally,
the only reason I compare it to that is
like Slay the Spire and Monster Train.
Yeah,
things like that.
The reason I compare it to that is the dopamine kick of the sort of like the gameplay. I'm just taking away what it gives for you, if you see what I mean. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I just think it's just a lot different to that type of game. But yeah, I mean, look, obviously not every game's going to be for you. I mean, if you like Slay the Spire, you're probably going to really like Balatro. If you didn't like Slay the Spire, then maybe that genre's not quite up your alley. And obviously that's absolutely fine. So like I say, if any of what I said sounds in any way
I mean,
definitely
exactly
recommend checking out.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, I'd probably buy it and then play it a bit. I don't know if I would it's not the kind of thing I would get into. It's just like I say, it's just me, and it's like I'm obviously the minority on this particular game, and that's awesome that it's doing so well and everything. And it's very stripped back as well, isn't it? So in terms of its visuals and everything, so it's not about that. Like I said, that's again why I was comparing it to Vampire again, but
it's got a really cool look actually, because it's got like a CRT filter on it, which I actually dialed down a little bit. Look, did you dial down the CRT filter? Or have you
I think I left
it
it a default. Yeah, I quite like it. It's actually, because even though it it is a stripped down look, it's high, it's very polished.
Yeah.
So just the clarity of everything and the art, quote unquote art style that's been used is really nice. And what they've paid particular attention to is like animations.
Yeah.
Just like, card disintegrations, playing cards, how they move and stuff. It's really nice. It's very visually pleasing, even though it's obviously not doing lots visually. I think they've really done well with it.
Yeah. I think the audio is really good as well. I think it's a underrated part of it. The music's fairly sort of chill and relaxed, which I think fits this type of game really well. But also just like the effects when you play a card, when you play hands, or when you use a tarot card or something like that. It's the audio designs. I like to say a very nice, and I think a little underrated. Maybe not underrated, but obviously people are focusing on other elements of the game. But it is something that's quite nice. But it is a game also that I do play with no sound a lot of time. Actually, just the TV's on or something. It's very easy just to
see. That's where in terms of that's again, it's just personal thing. Like that is never how I play games. If you know what I mean. I never play games as a secondary thing or a side thing. If you see what I mean, I can't do it. I'm more of an immersion based gamer. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Man.
And it's just a difference, and it's not anything wrong with you. I just say that's just why it probably isn't made for me as much, if you know what I mean.
But I think it's very much a game where you can do either or in the. And obviously, I don't necessarily want to sound like I'm trying to convince you to play it.
No, it's cool. Definitely try.
If it's not your bag, it's not your bag. But it is also a game where like I have just sat there for like 2 hours and just focused entirely on it, played it straight. And and lost that time completely to the game. So I guess it's just a game that you can, because I think a lot of these types of games, they kind of almost fit into one or the other, where you do focus for a couple. So I guess obviously very different, but Pacific Drive, obviously it's a run-based roguelike game. You cannot play that any other way than focus on that run. So you can't save it mid-run. So depending on how many stops you've got, that might take you a while. I think other games very much lean into just the 10, 15 minutes a try. I think Balatro really kind of fits in both camps, where you can just sit and play it for a good hour, 2 hours, even longer if you wanted, just trying to rack up those scores in the endless mode. Or if you just want to play a couple of hands, you can. Or, a run might take you 15, 20 minutes, or sometimes not even that if you die nice and early. So I think it fits kind of both of those categories quite nice, if that makes sense.
Definitely. That makes a lot of sense. Good stuff. Yeah, it's great to see you're having a blast with it for sure. There was like a sort of pokery game I did really enjoy back on the 360 days actually. I can't remember what it was called now actually. I think it was like Poker Flush.
Was it just like actual poker?
No, it's kind of a it's like how do I explain it? It's like a puzzle game almost, where it would fall down. Yeah. You'd have to sort of match stuff up as it comes down, if you see what I mean. And it's hard to explain, but I think it was called Poker Flush. I don't know if I'm going mad though. But that was quite fun, but it's a different type of game.
Yeah,
obviously,
I've not played too many kind of poker themed games to be perfectly honest. I mean, like I say, I've played poker a little bit, not serious, just with friends and things like that. So I've got like a little bit of familiarity with it, but I've never really played a poker themed game outside of poker. So it's an interesting concept from that perspective. And like I say, the way they kind of deal with that is really cool and interesting.
I've just looked up. It's called Poker Smash, not Poker Flush. Of course, that would be a bit too generic. Nice. Poker Smash. Check it out. It was on the arcade days of 360, which was a really fun game actually. But you never know. You might have converted me. I'll let you know. I can see it being fun, and in short bursts. But yeah, maybe I'll check it out some point. It's worth
cheeky plug, but I did stream it yesterday, Indy. So
Oh,
if you wanted to check out a little bit of what it's like, I did play like an hour and a half. I basically played until I got a win on the run yesterday. So feel free to check it out, and you never know, might be something that ends up tickling your fancy.
Definitely do that, yeah. And where can they check that out, by the way? It's in the link description below, yeah.
I don't know. Is the link in the description below? It might be, or
your
it might
channel,
be afterwards. So.
Your channel link is down there now. Actually, it's not on your screen because yours is playing up. But
yeah, as you say, I can't see the description or anything,
yeah,
so it's not on mine, but I don't need it, I guess.
Sure, yeah. Check out their channel as they have started quite a new channel. So give them a little sub, guys. Both Luke and Scott I'm referring to, by the way. They do a podcast over there as well. And their links are in the description below. So if you want to check out that stream, do so over there. Cool, guys. So yeah, it's probably no surprise what I've been playing. I haven't actually mentioned what I been playing recently. I just sort of bypass myself as I always forget to talk about things. But is there any other games you want to talk about before I had a little talk about what I've been playing, Scott?
I'm good. I think I covered everything. So looking forward to hearing what you've been playing, Matt.
Yeah, well, one of the things obviously is on screen right now. I've been harping on about a lot anyway. I'll save most of it for the review anyway, but obviously this is Ultros and I'm absolutely having a lovely time with it. It'd be better if I do avoid going into too much detail because you will see it in the next few days, the final verdict on it, but you saw my preview anyway. And as far as a Metroidvania goes, it's definitely up there, you know, and wonderful. I'm trying to be a little bit ambiguous about what I say. But yeah, no, it's a cool game. It's obviously out on Steam and PS5 and also PS4, isn't it? I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's on the screen right now. You get an idea of things. But yeah, it's a cool Metroidvania. I think I will keep it like quite empty on that, and you can check out the review if that's all right once that drops. I'll move on to some other things that I've been playing as well. I did dive into some Steam Nextfest stuff, guys, so I don't know whether you guys checked out any Steam Nextfest, but I checked out some demos off of that, one of which was Harold Halibut, which is a game I'm very excited for, and I know that Juds is as well. I do actually have a little bit of gameplay which I will grab up so we can divert to that for a little second. But yeah, I played the demo of Harold Halibut. It's coming out this year, which is amazing because it kind of was super quiet for so long. But yeah, it's a stop motion style game, and yeah, it's not actual stop motion. They do build all of the models in the game actually physically, and they scan them, take photos from all different angles, that sort of thing, and put them into the game. They decided to do it that way rather than actually doing physical stop motion of every single item in the game because it was restrictive in the gameplay sense. So they did it, like I say, by building every single thing that's in the game physically and then scanning it in and doing it that way. So yeah, it has a really cool style to it. And yeah, getting to check it out was amazing actually because it played. I mean, obviously it's a story-focused game. It's narrative-focused, so it's not like a fast-paced game. It's got a slow burn to it. Funnily enough, the developer's called Slow Brothers as well, so maybe that's part of that. But yeah, it's beautiful to look at. Amazing-looking game. And from what I played of the demo, it felt very immersive, and the setting and storytelling is really well done. But yeah, let's actually just check if Juds played any of it, because I think you might have, and I'm going to grab up the video while you do, if that's okay. Did you check it out in the end, Juds?
Yeah, but before that, Poker Smash.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like the time you played strip poker with Daz in that hotel, which we don't speak about.
Yeah, well, I'll shout out to Dan Allman in the chat, by the way, for saying that every time he said, every time you think about Final Fantasy, you lose a piece of clothing. That's the kind of poker that Daz is going to be playing later.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm surprised Daz had clothes on to begin with.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, actually.
That is true. Yeah,
that's great.
That is true.
Amazing. But yeah, did you check out Harold Halibut in the end? Or?
Harold Halibut, yes. I was waiting in silence far too long for that joke, and it was far too poor to have waited that long to come out with.
You could just come out of it. It's all good.
Happy Sunday, everybody. This is the quality of humour you get.
Absolutely.
When I get on the mic.
It's that low level humour, you can guarantee.
Harold Halibut. Let's get back onto Harold. Oh, Daz has got his boxers on. Well, at least that's something, Daz. I mean, it makes a change. Your poor wife.
He's greased up, though.
Honestly. Yes. That was definitely you. That was nothing to do with me.
Love it.
Harold Halibut talking about Daz with no boxes on. Yes, I did play the demo. I didn't play an enormous amount of it.
Sure.
Because I want to save it. What I did play was excellent. I think the storytelling was extremely good. Obviously, the stop motion animation style is really, really fascinating.
It is.
I wouldn't say it's unique, but it's pretty unique these days.
Yeah, there are a couple
beautiful.
others out there doing it. But,
Yeah, there's a couple others. I think they've definitely done a really good job of implementing it, though. It's still smooth, you know. I think it's got a lot of scale as well. From what I sort of caught on in playing the demo, it's got a lot of scale for where the game's going to go.
100%.
So, yeah, I loved it. By the way, I've figured out why I haven't played any 2024 games yet, because I was trying to work through my backlog. I've just checked Lamplighters League. I played for 5 days and 3 hours.
Did you?
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that's going to blow Scott's mind. And that's just one of them.
Wow.
But yeah,
is it really that long a game? I didn't think like, because I
fell
know
asleep
you
by
only
Stubbs,
on the
probably.
run.
Fell asleep in the mid game.
Yeah, just fell asleep and let it play itself.
I'm not saying I've never done that before, to be honest.
I'm not playing Final Fantasy. It can be, Scott, because one round, because you're trying to keep your agents alive, you know, one round can take, you know, as you get further through the game and you unlock more agents, it gets more difficult. It can take like 45 minutes to an hour to do one mission.
Nice. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I just had a look at how long it beat, and the completion, it's over 100 hours. So Jesus.
Yeah, I've got 2 achievements to go, and I don't think I'm going to get them. But
yeah,
you never know. You never know.
Can't resist 100% now.
I've 100%ed 2 games this year so far, so I'm doing okay.
That's pretty cool. So I was just going to start have a little chat with you about Harold. Of what
I've gone off the rails again.
That's all right. No, that's all right. I'm not saying it. We like off the rails. It's all good. It's just, I've got him up on screen now, old Harold. He's a beloved chap. He's already won my heart with his sort of like hands-off kind of attitudes, and also his introverted nature. But he's very endearing, and that's what I picked up. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, not only is it the aesthetics of this game is absolutely fantastic, as you can see on the screen. Yeah. And it doesn't matter all the environments, you know, of course they're in the ship and they're currently underwater at the moment, but
that's right. It's incredible. Yeah, it
is. I mean, all the scenes, I guess I would say then, rather than biomes, which is the word of 2023, look fantastic. Lighting's so good in it. The dialogue's really good in it. The voice acting's really good in it. Yeah, I just want the full game. It's one of them things, you know, when you get a demo, it's like, I want to stop playing this now because I want to actually play the full game.
Yep, totally. Yeah, I always felt the same.
That's kind of where I'm at.
The only thing I was a little bit, I think I might have mentioned it to you previously, but yeah, the only thing that was a little bit needing to be tightened, I think, was the frame rate. It was a little bit wibbly wobbly at times, but it's still, you know, optimization to be done, isn't there, and all that sort of stuff towards the end.
Did you say wibbly wobbly?
Wibbly wobbly. I think I just somehow shoe on that into the.
You've been
podcast.
Watching CBeebies recently. Trip back to your childhood there.
Well, it was Harold Bishop, wasn't it? Is that something he would say? Or, I don't know.
I wouldn't know, mate. But I hope you enjoyed Australian soap operas in general. But
when I was growing up, I was well into them. Stuff indie games back then. No, I'm only joking.
Yeah, there's nothing I can say to that apart from back to Harold.
Yeah,
obviously it was a demo.
And Harold Bishop, that's a pretty good link, that.
That's a very tenuous and unnecessary link, but I'll give you points for it, mate. It's pretty good.
Thank you.
The demo, the frame rates, yes, of course. You know, I'm in development, so the last piece is optimization. Look at the size of the game when it came down as well. There's optimization to be done.
Exactly.
All that polish comes in the last couple of months, 2-3 months. So
yeah,
I expect that to all be fixed by the time it comes out.
Yes, that would be very good if it can be. Yeah, I mean, it's still a slow-paced game anyway, so you'd kind of get away with a few little drops and stuff like that in a game like this, but it would definitely be nice if it smoothed out, just because the presentation is so incredible in it. It's, you know, it looks like no other game, and like you say, the fact that it's set on this crashed sort of spacecraft, or this very large craft that's a city-sized spaceship, they say, I believe, and it's submerged in an alien ocean. That's again the developers' words, but yeah, they've obviously built a life around it. But then in the story, they live their life and stuff, and then they're sort of the science of it is actually their actually realize it. Well, because they think Earth has ceased to exist as a race, I believe, and I think the story arc is that they're gonna find out actually they might be able to make a way out of where they are, a kind of thing. That's what I'm guessing. But yeah, it's just presented so well, and I don't know, the voice acting is top notch. I think there's very it's very characterful. It's very everyone's got their own sort of unique personality, a lot of personality in it. But yeah, so you played about, how long did you reckon? About half hour or?
Yeah, not too much past half an hour or so. I went down deck to start fixing stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember the first thing. It's the big the pump stuff you have to fix for the aquarium or something, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's it. You have to go. You fix the filter, isn't it? I think on something.
Filters,
yeah, and it flushes it through, kind of thing, or something like that. Yeah, I didn't play the whole demo. Actually, I did stop, and I was thinking, I'll tell you what I'll do is I want to make a video on it, and then I didn't get a chance to in the end, so at least we're doing content on it now, I suppose. But yeah, like, this is definitely one of my most anticipated. We're sort of jumping around from what's upcoming to what's to play, but obviously I played it in the Steam Nextfest. Definitely one of my favorites that I played from Steam Nextfest. Obviously that was a little bit back now, but yeah, it's just amazing to see a little demo of it. I kind of, it's been so quiet for so long, and then all of a sudden, last year we got that little announcement it's going to Game Pass, which is cool. Don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
But then it's good to see now it's sort of getting towards the end of things. Oh, and I just noticed in the chat there, Danzig Kepler. Oh, great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for coming by. Some Kepler PR person there in the chat, by the way, guys. But thank you very much for being here, and thank you again for all you've done, sending out the amazing things that you've sent to me. It's so kind, and again, we mentioned that earlier on, but just because you're here, I really appreciate all you've done, and it's been amazing checking out both Pacific Drive and Ultras on the channel. So yeah, thanks for coming by to check out the podcast, though, as I say. But yeah, so yeah, you're looking forward to checking it out when it comes out then, Juds, or?
Yeah, it's a day one buy, no question. I'm just getting it, simple as that.
Yeah, nice. How about you guys? Did you check out this one, or are you excited for Harold Halibut at all, Luke or Scott? Either of you guys?
I was going to check it out, and then I started downloading it on the Steam Deck.
Oh, okay.
Then,
yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
I saw the size.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, oh,
yeah, it's gonna take a lot of your space.
On a Wi-Fi device. Saying that, I get really fast speeds on it, so I just think I you know what it was? I remember it was because I was like, I'll download it. I started downloading it, and then it couldn't download because I didn't have enough space, and I was like, that's really weird.
Right.
I was like, this is like a smaller kind of adventure game. And then I was like, oh my god, it's like over 50 gigs.
Yeah.
So is the demo still up? You can still download it.
It might actually be still up, actually. Yeah,
because if it's still up, I think I'll download it on the desktop and
check. Yeah, it's still up.
Yeah. So I'll go and check it out. It definitely looks the art style is
Funny enough, it's still up, but I think someone I know is playing it as well.
Oh, I don't know what you mean. I was just checking it for research purposes.
Nice.
It's 54 gig.
That's how you properly test the game for a podcast. Actually play it while you're doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's just perfect.
It's like, someone's green on this. Oh, it's John's. He's right in it. One of my friends.
Yeah.
That's great. It's all good. I like that.
I'll pop out.
What type of game is
No, continue. It's all good. Sorry, buddy. What were you going to say, Scott?
I was going to say, what type of game is it?
Oh, it's a narrative-driven adventure game.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too much of it.
Oh, really?
You guys are really excited for it, but it's not one that I've seen an awful lot of, so I wasn't too familiar with what type of game it was.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah. This basically exactly that. It's narrative-driven adventure, and heavily story-driven, really. That sums it up. But the story is very unique, and just like I say, the setting and everything is stunning. Like, obviously the underwater setting is just beautifully realized, and it's just a game that has a lot of charm. If you watch a trailer, it will give you I felt like the story trailer, it's called, gives you a real sort of sense of the emotive kind of storytelling they're doing with it. That's I don't know, it seems really immersive. But yeah, very excited. I've been excited for this game for probably 3 years or so. I don't know, a very long time. And the fact they're building every aspect of it handmade, like I mentioned a second ago, that shows true commitment from an indie team. You know, they're just putting everything into this, so that's definitely got my attention. It did hate it for a long time, but yeah, is it something that you think you'd check out? Or is it not really your sort of game though, Scott?
No, it's something I'd definitely check out. Obviously, looking at the footage here, I have seen it before. I just wasn't too familiar with like what type of game it was, but the art style and the stop motion animation is very nice. Especially when it comes to Game Pass as well. That
Yeah.
I think that was new to me when you said
Oh,
that.
really?
And
Okay.
maybe I'd seen that. I'm sure you probably mentioned it in the past.
Yeah, it was in my
that's
top
pretty
15 upcoming indie games video when I did that one a little while back, the one that did quite well. That was where I mentioned the Game Pass thing. Obviously, I don't expect you to remember every single detail, by the way. Just let you know. That's where, at that point, it had been announced just before that, if you see what I mean, when I made that one. I think it was last game showcase season that they announced the Game Pass thing, so summer, which is cool. But yeah, that was the first time it had been properly announced for Xbox as well, so quite a good little thing that they'd done there. And it just gives the game like this, which they're putting so much effort into and so much time and all that sort of thing, it makes me feel a bit better for it, that it's going to be played by a lot of people, just to know that, you know, they've got that safety net, if you know what I mean, on this occasion. Because it's a lot of, I don't know, there's so much heart and soul going into it, clearly, by the way they're doing it, if you see what I mean. But yes, I hope it does really well. I'm super excited for it, and you know, I love the Bioshock vibes underwater and all that. Although it's a very different type of game, of course. But yeah, it's got a nice like retro futuristic feel to it, which is you'll see on the screen right now with the sort of handheld device which you use. It's done really nicely. It's like got a tactile kind of feel to the elements like that. And yeah, it's cool storytelling. It's beautifully done. So yeah, I'm ready for the full game. Let us know in the chat if you're excited for Harold Halibut, and let us know if you played any Steam Next Fest games as well, by the way, guys. Was there any other Steam Next Fest games you guys played on here? Did you play any other games, Juds, or anyone else?
I did play one other that you recommended. I didn't really like it, so I don't know whether I should talk about it or not. Nothing against you, pal, but
yeah, how dare you?
No, it was a fair shout, to be honest with you. I think this was in the Next Fest, or it was one demo. I might just been confusing myself now, which is
was it a rally game?
good. The rally game, yeah. What's it bloody called?
It's called.
I'm trying to find it in me.
Hang on a minute. I think I've got a video of it actually somewhere.
Yeah, Drive Rally.
Drive Rally, that's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So you didn't get on with it, or?
I didn't get on with it, no. You know, I'm all about my racing games. It didn't do anything for me. That's probably the best way to put it. I didn't like the control. I mean,
really?
The rest of it was all right. Yeah, some of the sound design and that wasn't.
You don't like Arnie? Arnie put you off.
Yeah, yeah, he did actually.
Was it that game?
Yeah.
I remember you posted that.
Yeah. It's
as soon as you said
like,
that Arnie, I didn't know what game you were talking about. Then as soon as you said that Arnie, that one. Yeah.
It's funny for like a little bit, but then after a while, it's like, dude, shut up. I'm just trying to get around this corner, mate, and you're just going crazy.
You're too much of a purist for the racer genre, aren't you? That's what it is.
Yeah, you say that, but look at my Circuit Superstars and all that stuff.
That's definitely a purist racer as well, I believe. I know it's got a different art style, but they are hardcore racing fans who made that game, and they want that reality in the pit stops and all that sort of thing. So I think that comes from a purist place as well, that one.
Pit stops. I think you should remember all about pit stops. They do happen in races, Indy, as we discussed.
Who needs
But the other one, funnily enough, brutal. Funnily enough, the other one I was going to talk about is another one of your recommendations.
Yeah.
Which I actually bought. It's a racing game. It's nothing to do with the Next Fest because I didn't have any time. But Inertial Drift.
Inertial Drift, yeah.
Yeah, that was in one of the ones we did on our top upcoming or something. Yeah, I actually bought that.
What did we do that one for? So you bought that, nice. Steam. I bet that was Steam sale, was it, or something maybe?
Steam Winter Sale?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, so you picked it up. How did you feel about that one?
I liked it. wasn't a massive fan of the story elements, but the very
Oh
unique
yeah, that's not.
control style with the sticks, I thought that was really good.
It's good, isn't it?
Again,
Yeah.
it's another one of them I've not played a lot, to be honest with you. I'm just looking now. There's so much stuff I've got which I haven't even, opened up. Especially after those winter sales, we're like, right, I'm gonna have to go and buy that. I'm gonna have to go and buy
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, there's so many, isn't there?
Yeah, crazy stuff.
But yeah, no, that's a shame you didn't like that. I thought it was pretty good with the old Arnie, and I do feel they need to just tweak it a little bit, which they have done, obviously, and that's why they're doing this Steam Nextfest sort of demos. But sometimes the cues of the actual co-driving aspect from him, they're not perfectly in sync or something like that. I think it was. Maybe that was what annoyed you. But yeah, generally speaking, I thought it was quite funny, and I don't know, just added. I think like it's good if the humor's there, but you've got to have it nailed as well. You need to know if it's like a square right or whether it's, they say it needs to be bang on with that as well. But you can add the humor as well if you're getting it bang on with that. But I think one or two times it did miss because he was doing a joke, and then it did miss square right, and I was like, what the. And we'll just drive into a wall because he did a joke. So that maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, that's what you was about to say, right?
Say again, sorry.
I think that game, it was either that or something else I've been playing recently. But I know it's a demo, so I'm not no shade on this game. But the audio, it was either the audio in that game or another game. If I think of it, I'll let you know. But you couldn't change the volume on the audio, and it's driving me absolutely insane.
The volume. Of the code driver, or
I think I'm trying to remember, mate. I'm thinking you'll see me go green and play it in a minute. I'll tell you which one it was. I think it was the code driver. So I wanted to turn him off and just play the game.
You probably obviously about to, I'm sure. Yeah. But yeah, it's quite fast-paced rally though. Yeah, so you can't like everyone. I just thought you might like it. I felt like the racing was quite good on it, but you maybe didn't like it so much because
didn't grab me by the
AAA gamer, really, aren't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is a game I've bought again this year, apart from Pacific Driver Course, is Helldivers that these two other guys have been playing, but I've not played much of that over. I'm only level 7, I think. So it's too much work, man. Too much work and music.
Too much AAA commitment on this podcast, I think.
All right, it's a spice of life in there. Branch out a little bit.
Dear.
Too many games.
So, so Harold Halibut, definitely looking forward to it. Shout out to Mike Carmen in the chat as well. Thank you for being here, my friend. I have a quick question you've got as well, which says, for any 4 of us, any tower defense fans among us? Guys, tower defense games?
It's been a while since I've dabbled.
Yeah, I think the same. I think I used to play them. Used to play more of them like 10 years ago or so, but
right.
I can't remember the last time I actually played one. In the last few years.
Yeah, I have to admit I'm not really up on it, to be honest. How about you, Scott? Did you have any or?
Yeah, it's same as Luke, to be honest. It's been a long time since I've really dabbled in that genre. So I would say, did that come from Mike Carmen? Mike, if you've got any suggestions, let us know, because it's been a while since I've jumped into that. So I'm really out of the loop in terms of like what games are really blown up in that genre at the moment. So let us know, and I might have to check some out. Yeah,
definitely. So we're strictly speaking a tower defense game. What would you class that as strictly? Guys,
something like Earth Defense Force is kind of.
So we're talking strategy. Would it be strategy tower defense kind of thing, or could it be any type of genre that's combined with a tower defense of your base? Is that what it's about, isn't it? Tower defense. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean anything that kind of incorporates those sorts of elements. I don't think it has to be.
It could be a first-person shooter. It could be anything, couldn't it? With you have to do sort of defend your base, and reinforce and stuff like that. So that's the sort of thing we're talking, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. But I like to say, being out the loop of that genre for a while, I'm not too sure what's hot.
Yeah,
maybe what's not these days.
Because there is I think it would be classed as tower defense. Is that Hypercharged Unbox, which is a first-person shooter, and you're playing as like basically like it's a toy in the sort of say like imagine Toy Story come to life. Basically, have you seen that game?
That tower defense. I thought that was more like a TDM type thing, to be honest. I thought it was just
TDM.
I thought it was just like a competitive shooter of some
No,
kind,
so you
but no,
defend
it's
do you
wave-based.
defend your tower if that's what I was asking a minute ago. Like it is sort
Yeah,
of
like Plants vs Zombies was probably the most famous.
yeah. So
Like
that
out and out
Yeah,
tower
yeah.
defense.
so that would be a similar thing then, because that's how that game works in Hypercharged. Yeah. So I'll just double check that. Actually, I'm not got that completely wrong. I did do a vid on it at one point. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, I'd recommend that if you haven't seen. Let me see.
I've just looked up some tower defense. I'm in the same boat as you guys because like it's been so long. Plants vs Zombies. Oh wow, I was properly addicted to that. Like on the iPad, and when it came to the Xbox, I was just a mad addict. And there's another game on the iPad I used to play back in the day, tower defense game. It's kind of a neon graphics. It's really, if you don't know the game I'm talking about, that's going to mean absolutely nothing to you. So apologies for that. But I was really addicted to that as well. So not again like you guys recently, not so much. And again, if Mike's got any good
I think
recommendations, always happy
probably
to have
their
a
own
look
game
again.
they'll be recommended based on what I just read. They're
Oh, so I've
programming a
not read that
2D
one.
tower defense. If you're ever interested in testing, I'll get in contact.
Okay. Very cool.
Cool.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
I think don't know if you have already, but feel free to drop it in the Discord. If you haven't joined already, it's a link in the description below. I can't quite remember if you're in there or not, but yeah, sounds good. But yeah, I think Hypercharge is classed as that. Is your primary objective, excuse me, is to defend a central object referred to as the hypercore from successive waves of hostile animated toys. Would that be classed as a tower defense? That's what my interpretation of it is, but if I'm wrong,
Yeah, I think so. But I guess it's kind of just a horde mode then, isn't it?
yeah, kind of. Yeah, is that
Kind of like
similar though?
Gears
Or?
of War. Yeah, it's I guess it's similar. I kind of would have like when I think of like tower defense, like I guess Plants vs Zombies, really good example, especially the original on mobile. I guess that's different, but there's obviously a lot of similarities between the two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Plants vs
best of
Zombies,
luck
man, I
with.
haven't played that for a while.
Yeah, I
God of
played
Warfare
that
was great.
ages ago.
Really, really good fun.
Shout out to Paul joining us in the chat. Thank you very much for being here as well, Paul AFC. Yeah, cool, fantastic. So, oh god, I've just done Paul AFC in the chat. Sorry about that. So yeah, good stuff, guys. Let's see. So you didn't get on with that game. My recommendations are going sour for all of you guys lately, it seems. But that's cool. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. But yeah, other than that, I checked out that game Drive Rally, like you say, which was fun for me. Not so much for Juz, no worries. But check it out if you like a rally game. What else did I check out in there while we're talking about it? Berserk Boy's coming out in a few days. I don't know if you've seen that, guys, but it's like a retro kind of Mega Man crossed with Sonic kind of vibes. If you like that sound of that, check out Berserk Boy. It's there might be a demo still up on there, but I played that and it was pretty cool, very retro. Check it out. Like I say, coming out soon. I did get offered a key for that one to review it, but unfortunately it's just not enough time in the day, unfortunately. It's really annoying when that happens because I'd love to be able to say yes to everything, but that's just the way it goes. Got to be realistic, guys. So yes, moving on then to any other games. Actually, just finally, let's see if there's any other games you've enjoyed this year, and then we can go fully into any games we're looking forward to, I guess. So anyone on the panel, any games that you're looking so you've enjoyed this year that you've missed off?
I think I've spoken about mine.
All good on your front? Yep.
Yeah, I think we covered them all.
All good. Fantastic.
I think the only ones I'd mention I played a number of games on the Steam Nextfest. Some
cool.
of which are now out because Ultros was one of those, for example.
Yep.
But one of the games I played that I really enjoyed was a game called Mullet Mad Jack.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got that on my screen right now, actually, on my Steam page. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. It'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, if you can throw out some footage, that would be cool because I think it's interesting. But if not, it's fine. But so that's a really really cool game.
Yeah, nice.
And it's like a 90s anime first person shooter basically, but it's a roguelite the hook of the game is that you only have 10 seconds to live on every level, and to keep that 10 seconds ticking over to stop it from going to zero, you have to get kills. So it's a really frantic game to
Amazing.
run through a level and keep getting kills. I think you had about 3 seconds for every kill you get.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really fast paced. It's visually, I mean, just super incredible. The art style. It's so busy, but not in a bad way.
Yes.
And yeah, really fun shooting mechanics. Looks fantastic, ran really well. The demo really impressed me. I thought it was very polished from the get-go, really. And it has like 90s anime cutscenes with it as well, and it does these like transitions into gameplay that are really cool.
Awesome. Yes.
So
beautiful.
Loved it. Yeah, it's a beautiful game, so vibrant. And quite violent as well. So probably not one for you, Indy.
Oh no, I definitely like this kind of violence. I just don't like vulgarity. Babies floating around.
Again,
It's called Mullet Mad Jack.
Honestly, what you described there sounds really cool, and I hadn't actually heard of that before. So I'm gonna have to.
I think it's still available on Steam for the actual demo.
Maybe, yeah. I think it is. I'll just have a look. So it's just very, very cool. And it's roguelike, because at the end of the level you get, if I recall correctly, you get like 3 or 4 different cards, and you pick one of the cards, and that gives you like a particular buff for that run, like something. But yeah, it's just really cool. It's got kind of really over the top voice acting as well, which you'd expect. Again, not in a bad way. No Arnie in this one, but yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome.
I'll have to play this, because I did download it, but I didn't actually get around to checking this one out. Just like I say, one thing after the other's packed amount of things to do, but I'll have to check it out. Do you know when it's coming out, this one?
I don't. I think it just says coming soon on Steam, so I'm hoping it's this year. But yeah, it was really, really cool, really cool. I also played, and I didn't really enjoy this one, but I think some people will. A game called Children of the Sun.
Oh,
which
yes,
is Devolver's game.
Sun, yeah.
And is that the one bullet game?
Yes, yeah. So conceptually, very, very cool. You are like someone getting revenge on a cult that's killed your family, and the idea is you go into a level and you can only go in a circle on the level. So you there are enemies in the center, and you can flank around them, but you can't go anywhere else. And you have to sort of think about where you'll initially fire your bullet, and then when you do, you sort of do that, become the bullet thing. And the idea is that you have to eliminate everyone using that one bullet. So when you hit someone, the bullet can bounce off in a direction, you can take control of it again and then kill someone else, and so on and so forth. So it's almost like a puzzly tactical shooter. Like I said, conceptually very cool. I didn't really get on with it. I don't know why. It didn't grab me. But I think some people will really, really enjoy it. It's got a really cool art style as well, very kind of lo-fi, interesting art style. But yeah, I just didn't jive with it. But cool game, different.
Yeah, it's a shame that, because I didn't check the demo out. I might have to actually. I did see a trailer for it, and I thought like you said, I thought the concept sounded actually really interesting. Actually, so it's a shame that maybe it doesn't quite hit the mark. So I might have to check that out, so you see how I feel about it actually.
Yeah, but Mullet Mad Jack, definitely check that out. That's demo still available. It's very cool.
Cool, fantastic. I'm having a bit of a mare here with my screen, so if any of you want to take the lead for 2 seconds, that would be amazing. That's while I sort this out. Any other games that you want to talk about for the second, guys?
Talk about Suicide Squad if you want.
No, don't fill it with that. You need to take advantage of me while I'm not there.
Let's have a very quick AAA segment.
Oh God! How dare you? Oh dear. You talk about whatever you want. It's all good. I'm just gonna fix this because I don't know what's actually happened. Sorry.
Yeah, I was actually playing Balatro because I was talking about it. I was
Nice.
like, I should probably get a quick run in
Just get a-
while we're chatting. So why not?
You're a fan of
I-
Balatro, Scott. I'm getting an idea you're kind of into it now.
No, it's actually a bit shit, mate. To be
Is
honest,
it? Yeah.
but
Time.
I can't keep away from it. So, no,
I didn't see your stream yesterday
Shame on
because
you.
I was out getting lost in the Lake District, which was
Oh,
good fun.
nice.
It wasn't. It's a long story which no one wants to hear, but it's one of those games. I think I saw, because when you guys were going crazy in the DM about it, I think I looked up the trailer and I thought, nah, that's not for me. But the more you talk about it, the more I'll probably go and watch your stream. Is your stream any good? Is it worth watching?
I mean, the stream's probably not very good, mate, but the game is. So, to be fair, I've done 2 streams on it so far. The first one was only about 30 minutes, and I did a one run, and I won that run. So I would go back and watch the first one because it's a lot quicker, and it kind of gives you a sense from start to finish. So hopefully it's at least decent. But I mean, if what I've been saying, just like I said, sounds interesting, then definitely check it out. I mean, it's relatively inexpensive as well, so you could always check it out and obviously take advantage of Steam's refund policy. You know,
Yeah.
I think what you get 2 hours or something on Steam, so maybe check it out. You can definitely get a good feel within that first hour as to whether you're gonna, whether it's gonna grab your attention or not. Like it hit me from the demo straight away. I don't think the demo's still available, but yeah, I'll check it out, mate. But like I say, yeah, check out the stream first. See if it's something that's up your street, and then it'll be good to hear your thoughts.
I'll grab it, mate. Yeah, it's only $12.79, isn't it? So
Yeah, like I say, if you look on
stuff.
like CD keys, mate, it's even cheaper as well. So
Okay.
and
Forget about that.
those guys are swimming in money.
Yeah,
I think
CD
from what they said, it was profitable within hours. I think they said.
Yeah,
Obviously
exactly.
great to see success. Like I say, solo dev as well.
How many did it hit actually? What was the numbers? Because it was extreme, wasn't it? Didn't
I
it
don't
do?
know.
Do you remember?
It was a lot. I don't know how many.
Was it over 1 million?
copies. It might be.
No,
Yeah.
over 1 million. So
I think
it might be
been.
now. It was $1
Yeah,
million
yeah.
sales, I think, and it was over
Yeah.
250,000 copies within the first like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, it was getting sort of. I remember seeing it on Steam as well. It was getting like 35, 40,000 concurrent players on it, which is really, really big.
Yeah.
So for a game, for an indie game like that. So it's done very well.
Indeed,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's odd. I'm a massive fan of poker in real life.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah. So I love playing poker. I don't know. There's some. I'm just gonna have to get it and try it, aren't I? And I'll definitely.
Yeah,
let
I
you
think
guys
if you
know what I
like
think.
poker and you like deck builders or roguelites in any way, I think you'd really enjoy it, Juds. Like I say, you don't need to have that kind of fundamental understanding of like poker and hands because it very quickly changes. But I think going into it with it, like you'll be able to it'll just feel natural to play it, I think, very quickly if you've got at least that basic understanding.
Yeah, because like I'm a I'm a poker fan in real life, but not much of a deck builder in games. Like not much of a deck builder fan, but I love it. It's just one of those that hits. Like there's only a couple. Like it's this and Inscription for me, right? That absolutely hit in terms of card-based games, but this one's very different. But yeah, if you like poker, even though you're not really playing poker as such in the game. Like I mean, you are just in terms of playing hands, but it's very, very different, very unique. Just oh man, it's really good.
Have we stalled enough, Indy?
Yes, thank you very much. Well done. And I don't know. I think I
was
did.
in danger of being hit to the Balatro.
That's what happens when
talk
I
about Suicide Squad.
go off the. Yeah, that's how you mentioned Suicide Squad. It blew up. But yeah, thank you very much for that, guys. That's great. And shout out to Mr. VJ in the house. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. I'll take a slice of cake, please, and a cup of tea. Thank you very much. It's good to see you. So Mike's got a little question for us in the chat here. How promising were this Nextfest games compared to previous Nextfest? What do you guys think? Will it be a good year? 100%. I think this was the best Nextfest they've ever done, and I think it was the best lineup of games. So, I don't know if you guys had a look closely about this Nextfest. Would you say it was a good lineup? Did you think it was better than other ones? What do you reckon?
I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very high quality games across the board.
Definitely.
And a lot of like stuff that you know, like Molly Mad Jack that I kind of vaguely heard of, and then played the demo. I was like, oh wow, this is really good. You know,
definitely.
Yeah, I think it sets this year up to be a very, very good year for indie games generally. I think it already was, even absent of the Nextfest, but
definitely
this kind of, for me at least, it put more games on my radar that I wasn't really aware of or particularly looking forward to. So
definitely, yeah. Oh, it's just the quality is so high this time. It was just overwhelmingly good in my opinion. There's like so many games on that list which were, you know, ones that I was really looking forward to, which I'd love to check out, but also ones which just like Mad Jack that just came out of nowhere for me because I hadn't heard of it before that. Just a really high quality list of games, and I think it's got better and better. Steam Nextfest, and it's become one of the most important things for indie devs, I think, to get their game into, I would say, because the amount of wish lists that people see from the actual results of a Nextfest is significant. You see a lot of people posting about that now, the spike that they get, which is really good. So yeah, it's a cool thing. I think Nextfest is going from strength to strength. Any other thoughts on that, Scott or Juds? Or
I was just going to say what Mike's put there, the amount of stuff to play, you need a second life. 100%. There was a lot, you know, in there, like you said, Indy, and listening to you guys, stuff I'd never heard of or never even thought of. But just getting the time with everything going on, it's like, yeah, that's an issue. But I think 24 is going to be an amazing year. I mean, I'm sure we'll have some other shows where we talk about upcoming stuff. We're going to have a quick chat about that, of course, today. But yeah, I think it just keeps going from strength to strength in the indie world. So,
indeed, yeah. Any thoughts on that, Scotty baby?
Yeah, if I'm being completely honest, it's not something that I've dabbled in too much. I mean, I think of like the last Steam Nextfest, or maybe a couple ago, where I played the Sea of Stars demo that really sold me on the game. So, I think the challenge is just there's so many games coming out that it's sometimes difficult to then commit time to a demo. And I think one of my biggest challenges with demos in general is, and I wish more demos did this, is just the lack of progress going over to the full game. I really would like more demos to carry that save progress over. I know, you know, it's only maybe an hour or two sometimes, but still, I think that'll be quite nice, because it's just often difficult to commit time to demos when there's so many awesome games out that you're trying to juggle at any one time. But you know, you mentioned it does seem to be a really powerful tool, particularly for indie devs. I'm sure you follow Ryan Brown on Twitter.
He's the one that was trying to send me off that code for that game actually a minute ago. I mentioned funny enough.
He spoke about it a lot on how important Steam Nextfest is to indie developers and how it impacts things like the number of wish lists, etc. I think the one chance a Steam Nextfest has probably at the moment is maybe just curation. There's just so many that sometimes I look at it and it's almost like overwhelming. You look at, there's just so many games and so many demos. It's like, right, where do I even start? Especially, you know, when you're going into it without any sort of knowledge of it. So the ones that I tend to play are maybe bigger indie games that I'm already aware of, or recommendations from you guys where you said, check this one out. So I think it's it's obviously great, but I think there are some challenges that Steam has with the event as it gets bigger and bigger each year.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I think Steam does a good job of like sort of sorting and its algorithms and stuff like that. It's pretty good, but it has to be extra good because it's such a big platform with so many games, thousands of games every year releasing these crazy amounts. But it's good to see it really growing though, and it's sort of like, you know, strength as well as quality and everything. Really, just good to see that, you know, games are getting shown off and people were checking them out that maybe they wouldn't have known about. So yeah, that's the beauty of it really. So good stuff from Steam Nextfest. There'll be another one again this year, which I don't know when the next one actually would be. I'd have to quickly check that. But obviously there'll be another one coming up this year, though. So yeah, good stuff. So let's dive into final little run of maybe just some upcoming games that we're looking forward to. We don't have to go into loads of detail on this one, but it's always good just to have a little chat. We can dive into more detail on another occasion, of course. And again, another video I've been trying to get done for a while is my upcoming games for 2024, which again, I'm really get frustrated about the fact that I can't get these videos out as quick as I would like, but it will happen, guys, I promise. 2024 upcoming indie games video will happen at some point. It's going to be after I've got these reviews out of the way, and then I'll be doing that. But for now, I'd love to hear what you guys are going to be looking forward to. Definitely let me know in the chat what you're looking forward to this year, games-wise, on the indie scene. But yeah, Judsy baby, what games are you looking forward to the most this year that maybe you don't necessarily know they're locked in for this year? It doesn't matter if they're not, but if maybe you're hoping they'll occur this year. But anything you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we talked about Harold, Mr. Halibut.
Mr. Halibut.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The first one I'm going to start on, though, is one we haven't spoken about, is good. We've got Meisuko, the Bob Ross of Finland, in a way.
Yeah.
The painter extraordinaire, fantastic artist. Go and check him out on Twitter and look at some of his stuff. He's very cool.
Definite.
But yeah, so after that plug, Unleaving is the game I'm going to quickly guide you guys to. I don't know if you've seen it, Meisuko. But they basically painted the canvas and the background. It's all like, I mean, Meisuko, no, it doesn't look like oil or some sort of, oil painting. It's a platform puzzler, 2D. If you play the Juggler's Tale, that should give you a little bit of an idea of the way it plays. But it also has a little bit of weirdness in it, where the screen will flip round and you're playing on the ceiling.
Bit like
I'm trying to think of the game that did that.
Dark does that, doesn't it?
A little bit like Dark, but obviously 2D and
yeah.
But yeah, it's just such a beautiful looking game, and because I love the Juggler's Tale so much, I thought this is a great one to start with. And hopefully Meisuko in the chat is gonna check it out if he doesn't already know about it. So that's my start for 10, buddy.
That's cool, buddy. Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, let's we can come back unless you want to do any others now, Juds, or is it you happy with that one for now and come back to you in a second?
Well, yeah, I've got a few more, so if people want to go, then that's good.
Yeah, okay, cool, sounds great. Lukey, bro, what's going to be a game that you're looking forward to this year on the indie game scene?
Oh man, there's a lot, isn't there?
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
So easy to choose. That's a good thing. I got so many.
Yeah, very much so. One that I think is supposed to be coming out this year, but they've not committed a date to it. And I wasn't necessarily super looking forward to it until recently. Is Simogo's new game, which is Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually.
And the only reason, so I mean, I think most of us, I know you have, Indy, obviously played Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is a really, really good game.
Definitely.
So same developer, and their new game looked super cool, but I wasn't super enamored until I saw that Sam Barlow on Twitter, he has had like an early build of it, so he's been able to play it, and he was absolutely raving about it.
Really?
He was saying like some extremely high praise about it already.
Sorry to quickly interrupt. How's the first few words of it again? So how is it called? I can search it for.
It's Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Lie as in lying, sort of. As in
deceit. In law. As in,
lore, as in law, as in deep lore.
Game lore.
Yeah, got yeah.
And then lie, which is LEI, all one word.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's all right.
There we go. Got some visual reference then for you.
Yeah, lovely. So, and it's sort of like they've not like fully described it, but it's a bit like a kind of mystery action. Mystery adventure game, but with puzzles. So very, very narrative focused, but with this like really cool art style. And yeah, I think it pops up. It takes place across like multiple different time periods.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's apparently amazing, and like Sam Barlow, I think if he says that something's really really good based on
good sign, isn't it?
yeah what he's made, you know, in the past, and particularly his last game,
exactly,
you know, that makes me pay attention to it more. So
definitely.
so I'm very much looking forward to this now, because I feel like it will be one of those really clever, super creative games, and very different from Sayonara Wild Hearts, but in a good way.
Genre breaking kind of thing, as in it doesn't fit into the box.
Yeah, exactly. doesn't really fit into kind of common descriptions of you know game genres.
That's what I get the feeling, especially if Sam's raving about it, kind of, because that's what he does, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's one of mine, which is, you know, we talk about like the big ones.
Sure,
but I wanted to.
No, it's good to talk about the small ones. Yeah, we all know the big boys that are coming out. Although they are made by small teams, of course. Still, you're talking about Silk Song specifically, as we know. But yeah, we could talk about that if we want to. But good to shout out these smaller ones as well. But yeah, that's a great pick actually, and I'd kind of forgotten about that actually. You see, if you mention something here, guys, that might end up making me remember to put it into my video, so if you know what I mean. I have actually put my list together for my video already, but maybe you will influence me. Good stuff. That's a great pick. So Scott, have you got some games you're looking forward to in 2024, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, Christ, there's loads, and I think one that I'll probably shout out, because I don't think you guys will probably be looking forward to it in the same way I am, which is Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which was a Kickstarter game, sort of in the Suikoden. I can't remember how that's pronounced. I think it's from the original developer of that game, and I played the kind of prequel that was released maybe 2 years ago now, which was what was it called? I think it was called Rising, Eiyuden Chronicles Rising.
So the new one's called what? Eiyuden Chronicle. What's the
Heroes.
100 Heroes? Cool, cheers. Yeah, thank
you. Which is literally because you recruit 100 characters, I believe is what it is. But it's kind of like an old school JRPG.
Cool.
So it's in that vein, coming off the back of Persona and things like that. It's kind of been on my mind as of late. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I think it might be out in April of this year, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that's something that I'm really looking forward to. And it's nice. Cool to see kind of Kickstarter games kind of come out as well.
Definitely.
Seen too much from Kickstarter personally, so yeah, and this one is just it really harkens back to those old school JRPGs, so very excited for that.
Great pick there, buddy. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Looks really cool actually. Got that sort of Octopath Traveler sort of aesthetic from the that's what I get the gauge of anyway, and from that side aspect of it, like pixel arty sort of, but it's sort of side on kind of vibe. Yeah.
I think if you see the trailer, you'll know straight away whether it's a game for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, very JRPG, very anime, very sort of old school in that sense. But yeah, it looks really cool. The art style is really good. I really, really like the art style.
Yeah, it looks good actually. It looks really good. Fantastic. That's a great pick. Let me place one into play then, so I don't forget. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll do Juds, and then I'll do one after that, so I can line this up as well whilst Juds is doing it. So what would your next one be, my friend?
Well, that's really interesting. I was about to give you a name of something to look up, but it's fine.
Okay. Okay.
I bet you've never heard of it, because I hadn't. But it's absolutely fine. Please continue to queue up your next thing, and I'll move on with. Well, God, I mean, there's just so many. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna say. Well, I'm going to steal this one because a wild Stubbs has appeared in the chat, causing trouble.
Stubbs.
Yeah. But he mentioned the one I think all four of us are very, very much looking forward to. No Rest for the Wicked, of course, from Moon Studios, of the Ori fame. That game looks absolutely superb, and I cannot wait for it. It's another one that's a straight buy. I think at this point, the pedigree of that team is fantastic. The game looks amazing. So yeah, I'm definitely going to go with that one. Have you got yours queued up yet?
No, it's all right. I know you guys are. Let's have a little chat about No Rest for the Wicked for a sec, because I know Luke has probably got some good takes on this, because we've all seen the recent reveal on it, with the gameplay and stuff like that. But yeah, did you have any takes on this one, Luke, or that you wanted to mention about it?
Looks great. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's Moon Studios, so I mean, everybody knows that the Ori games and how spectacular they were for many reasons. This is something different, very different in terms of genre, isometric action RPG, Souls-like to some extent. It has, I think the thing that just stands out, and it stood out in Ori as well, is the art style, which is just incredible. And how alive everything feels in a single scene, I think, is really impressive. You don't often get that. And I mean, look, the previews that have been coming out have been super positive about this, which is great. I think it enters early access on PC in April. So it's really not long away.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Look, PCMR, that's the joy of this, being able to actually, dive into this relatively soon.
Definite.
It looks fantastic. I'm personally, I hope it runs on the Steam Deck, because it will be a very, very good game.
Maybe not in early access too well. But...
Maybe not in early access, but you never know.
You never know, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the HDR implementation on this as well, because Ori 2 is probably still the best HDR that you'll find. Like, Moon Studios absolutely nailed it. It's like reference quality. So I expect this to be the same, and it will really pop.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. Yeah, no, it looks stunning, doesn't it? Obviously, Moon are an incredibly talented developer, and it's cool to see them moving on to the next phase of what they do. Yeah, it's interesting when you see some of like that boss moving along. I feel like that really reminds me of like Moon. They've got like a distinct style, haven't they, to the animation?
They do. Yeah, I think it was funny because when this was revealed, before the I remember watching it was Game Awards, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was Game Awards, and
Yeah, it
I
was.
remember before the logo even popped up, the minute they kind of had some of these characters pop on screen and the kind of hues that were involved, I was like, oh, is this?
Yeah,
I think this is Moon Studios.
Yeah,
because they do have like that. There's just some kind of, I don't know, this weird ethereal quality to everything that they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got this real signature on animation in particular, I feel. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see that in there rather than it just being something completely foreign to what it was before. And I like the fact that they've got that sort of trademark style.
It's not even too like the art style is different to Ori, but I feel like it's almost like an evolution.
Yes, I
of
definitely
what Ori was, like a lot grimier and more dark fantasy, but it kind of seems to naturally flow on from what they were doing in Ori to me. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I especially notice it in when it's like the bigger characters take up the screen. I notice the animation more. It reminds me of the boss fights in Ori Will of the Wisps, etc.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. But yeah, it looks amazing indeed. Cannot wait to check that out. Scott, did you want to mention anything about this one?
Yeah, I mean, just echo everything that Luke said. Obviously, Ori games are two of my favorite games of all time, so I'm really looking forward to this. Admittedly, the way that they described it before they announced it, I was expecting it to be more Diablo than Souls. It does seem to be, from what I've seen, more Souls than Diablo.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It really reminds me a little bit of Death's Door, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay, cool.
A little bit, but I'm really really looking forward to it. I can't wait to check it out. Yeah, obviously big fan of what Moon have done in the past, so this looks really really good.
Definitely,
style, animation, everything just looks fantastic.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, great stuff. It's interesting. I got a massive list here of games, but just which one I'm actually going to choose off of this to talk about. Because I need to
better be a good one.
Better be good. I was trying to choose something like not too obvious, like you did. God, What's
Sly dig there, Luke. About
what's that? Sorry, not to. No, I was saying Luke chose the.
I'm just messing.
No, sorry. You got me. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I don't think I've ever mentioned this one before, so I think people will probably know quite a lot about who watched this channel, but let's just dive into it. It's a Metroidvania. Sorry, I always choose Metroidvanias, but I think people like Metroidvanias around here anyway. We watch this channel. This one is a really cool Metroidvania, which has got like a parry system in it. I've played the demo of this game called Nine Souls. Have you any of you guys heard of this one, by the way, just before I go on? Don't know if don't think we've spoken about it before. That's funny. Somehow it's just got missed. So,
I do really like the look of it though.
Yes, really, really cool game. And it's so smooth and beautiful to play. With the parry system, it's like described as like a Sekiro-like parry system, but it's definitely not as punishing. But it's got that feel to it. It's got a really nice impact when you do parry, and it's satisfying as hell, basically. So yeah, it's really, really cool game. It was crowdfunding, as you're seeing on the screen right now. I'm just going to rewind the trailer because it's a little bit shorter than I thought it was. But yeah, like it's a demo of it. I think still on Steam. It's going to be coming out this year. It's got like obviously a Japanese kind of vibe to it, but it's not just true sort of like to the Japanese style in its rawest sense. There's also this sort of like otherworldly kind of aspect going on with technology which blends into it. So there's like two aspects to the story which are contributing. But yeah, the visuals are stunning. It's great smooth gameplay, really tight gameplay which you feel you're fully in control of all the time. The game actually felt really polished when I played the demo and I tried it out probably about a year ago, I think it was. And yeah, again, this is another amazing Metroidvania that is coming. Not to be mistaken with Bow Path of the Teal Lotus, which is also coming this year, by the way. That is also a really cool game, and it's one I'm very much looking forward to. Another Japanese style one like this. If you like the look at this, check out that one as well. But yeah, honestly, this game, definitely get it on your radar. If you give it a wish list, Nine Souls, spelled Nine, obviously SOLS. And if you like sort of really punchy combat, cool platforming, Hollow Knight vibes, obviously, but just evolved into something slightly different. Not necessarily evolved to the better. It's always just changing it up, its own little identity. But yeah, another amazing game from the Metroidvania genre, looking like it could be a really special one. Check it out, in my opinion. It's a great one. So I'm glad I could maybe bring something new to you guys as well then. That's cool. Didn't realise.
Makes a change.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to look through my list of 20 games I've got on this list here, which I was trying to think. Let's not go too obvious.
How many of them are Hollow Knight Silk Song?
One, obviously.
No.
Although I actually have to amend this list because I've made this list before a certain two games came out, so now they're both out, so I need to remove them off there, unfortunately. But there we go. So games for you guys. We've got Luke and Scott. Maybe should we do? And then that's everyone. Have I done that weirdly? Have we all done an even amount? I don't know.
You've done it weirdly.
I've done it weird.
Right
I've done a very weird.
That is the right order.
Let's go for Luke then. Any other game you want to highlight, my friend, that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, this one is scheduled for 2024. So I'm really hoping it makes it, because if this came out and Hades 2 comes out and maybe Silk Song,
yeah,
we could be like, this could literally be probably the greatest year ever for indie games.
Definitely. Whatever you're going to say.
But yeah, this one is Earthblade.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
I was just going to say, to be honest, I think this is one of the only games on my list which I have got, which probably could slip, I would say, but there we go.
Yes, I think that could happen. Yeah, definitely. I think they updated the Steam page fairly recently with new screenshots.
Right, nice.
So that's promising, potentially.
That is a good sign, yeah.
But yeah, look, I mean, it's what to say? It's by the same dev team as Celeste.
Yep.
Except instead of a platformer, it's like a 2D Metroidvania with platforming elements.
That's right.
Celeste is one of my favorite games ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the best platformers ever made.
Definitely.
and it holds a lot of special memories for me because of the time I played it. So
cool.
it's very, very memorable.
Yeah, it's great.
Very memorable game, and this one is kind of aping back to, you know, I think it's quite heavily inspired by things like, you know, the classic Legend of Zelda games.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously quite different, but you can see some of that in maybe some of the art style in particular.
Yeah.
I just think this will be really good. Like you can just tell that this is going to be really good. You know, they've said it's got some quite unique combat mechanics that they haven't gone into yet, but you know, look, Celeste had some really cool gameplay mechanics as well.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. As I say, I could see this slipping to next year, that wouldn't surprise me, but it has been in development for a long time. I hope it doesn't. I hope it comes out this year. It
would be cool. Yeah, I mean, this year is just too much, isn't it? But in a good way. Yeah. But yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, I love Celeste so much as well. It's cool to see them expanding into, like, they're calling it an exploration platformer, I think they say. Yes. They're sort of slightly avoiding the Metroidvania a little bit, although they acknowledge that it is pretty much Metroidvania, if you see what I mean.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, it'd be cool to see like a game where you can expand out your abilities from them as well. And this obviously trailer that highlights the interconnected world, which excites me, of course, the Metroidvania stylings. But yeah, like obviously with Celeste, it was quite just simple, wasn't it? With you do upgrade throughout the game, but it's just one ability gets added at a time, doesn't it? Kind of thing. Yeah. This one, maybe it's a bit more like you can choose what you're going to upgrade and stuff, maybe that kind of thing. Or I think it'll probably be more like a classic Metroidvania, more gated sort of areas.
Multiple things that you can upgrade, and you'll gate based on what you have. So
yeah, that's cool though. That's great. Looks really, really cool. Definitely looking forward to seeing more on it. This trailer does obviously sell me massively, but I'd like to see a bit more detail and find out more about it. But I'm still sold already, obviously. Looks absolutely incredible. It's a great pick. And good stuff. Scott, my friend, do you have any others that you want to highlight this year?
Can I try to will one into existence, Cindy?
Yeah, sure.
Could 2024 finally be the year that we get Katana Zero DLC?
Oh,
maybe.
Do you think it might have turned into a new game?
Well, I don't think the devs really spoken about it in a while, but I'm pretty sure every indie showcase, I'm like, right, is this the time I'm going to get the Katana Zero DLC? And it just never appears.
The first game came out in 2019.
Was it 2019?
When the first game released.
Yeah.
So that's I think it might have turned into a full game of its own right, like Silksong did.
Yeah, I mean, it's still meant to be free DLC. Last time the developer wrote about on the blog,
quite awkward,
that was a while back. I mean, obviously, I'd be happy for it to be something a bit more fleshed out, and obviously, I'd be happy to pay for it as well.
Exactly,
But I'm hoping 2024 might be the year we finally see that. But if I can pick one that's I think we know is coming out, it's a bit of a I guess an easy pick, but I think one that people are looking forward to, which is the Plucky Squire as well, which I've seen a little bit more of recently. Really looking forward to that. Obviously, it really stood out when it was first announced.
Yeah,
was it the back end of 2022? Maybe that was announced. I think it was originally due last year and has been delayed to 2024. But yeah, really looking forward to that.
Definitely. No, that's a great shout, and definitely looking forward to Plucky Squire as well. Very cool, innovative mechanics in the game. Looking forward to seeing that 2D, 3D switch taking place. But yeah, it seems like there's not just that flip between those two worlds. The actual little mini game aspects all seem to have the unique way of doing things, which gives me the hope that it might be quite a fresh game throughout, hopefully. Which will be good and definitely stunning visually. But yes, I think, have I got one more to do and then that's everyone done a couple of goes? Is that right? Am I wrong? Tell me, Juds.
I think that's right.
I think that's right. Cool. I always get lost all these bits. Right, let me just do one more then. I know which one I'm going to do. And then we'll be done. if you guys wouldn't mind, or one of you guys mind having a look in the chat for any comments, if that's all right for reading out, do you mind? In a moment, I'll just do this one. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Paul's got an absolute boatload. Harold, Albert, as we've mentioned, Hades 2, which I think Luke touched on as well. Little Kitty, Big City, Silk Song.
Can I just jump in? I'm so sorry, Scott.
What's that?
For the filthy minded among you, that third game, I read that wrong, and I thought it was a different film.
A different film.
A different film.
I thought it was a film of an adult nature.
I hope you've played your browsing history, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
The irony there, right,
Exposed.
is that game, because I think it featured on one of our previews, Indie.
Yeah.
And
Definitely,
I thought it was fantastic, but just reading it, yeah. Sorry, mate. Move on.
That's all right, man.
It's all good. You never know. It might be that one he was referring to.
If there isn't an adult-natured film with that title that I've got in my head, it doesn't need much changing.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, then it really does need to be made. They're missing out on a real banger, straight up.
Definitely. Amazing. Yeah, some great picks there. Paul S is always on fire with picks. That's awesome. And
there's one in Paul's picks, Indy, that I know you're particularly looking forward to, which is it pronounced Neva?
Neva, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Neva, yeah, from the Greece developers.
That's it, yeah, that's indeed. I'm definitely really looking forward to that one. That one potentially might slip as well, although it does say 2024 still. Pepper Grind, I did play the demo of that, actually. That's reminded me of in the Steam Nextfest, which was really cool. It's like, you know, the Ori and the Will of the Wisps mechanic where you burrow under the ground. Do you remember that mechanic in the game, Under the Sand?
Yeah.
It's basically that throughout the full game, essentially. So they fleshed out that mechanic into a full game. It's pretty cool, actually. It's Devolver, that one. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And so I just brought up one that I was going to finally talk about, which is Replaced. Obviously, we could do loads and loads on these, and Paul has definitely got our back with pretty much all the picks I would actually mention, because there's some good stuff in there that he's got on there, so like you've just read out, but lots more as well, which we'll save for another time. But this one is Replaced, as I say, and yeah, this game has been highly anticipated for a while, and I know Paul AFC in the chat mentioned this, and I know you've been excited for it for a long time, so yeah, shout out to you. And also, like I say, this game is looking stunning. Quite funny that, well, not funny, but last night, obviously, that game, talking about that each time we talk about this one, that one's still in production. Last night, if you remember it, it's still happening, apparently. No, it's cool. It is still taking its time, but I just can't. It's taking forever. Like, I suppose some games do take forever, but they've built their own engine and everything, I think, on last night, so you can see the attention to detail going in that one. Anyway, this is about Replaced right now, but I'm looking forward to last night when it does eventually come. But yeah, if you're looking for your cyberpunk vibes, this has definitely got you covered. Stunning visual style, cinematic, really nice looking game, and yeah, that sort of like dystopian kind of setting, which I love. And yeah, it just looks awesome. I like the kind of camera effects and the sort of depth of field, all that kind of thing they've got going on. Like I say, all add into that cinematic kind of look to it. And just I like that cyberpunk kind of, you know, broken down city kind of vibe which it's given off. And yeah, I'm well up for it. So I think it might be the year that it's going to happen as well, by the sounds of things, because they did have a bit of development trouble through, I think it was the war that that developer was affected by. And yeah, great to see that it's now coming through. Hopefully it will come out this year, and that'll be awesome if it does. And I think it's Game Pass Day 1 as well. So I'll be checking it out on Steam though. PC Master Race, baby. Just kidding.
Get BMG in the chat.
Get BMG in there. Let's put him on the show. We'll all go at him. Brilliant. Okay, so yes, let's see. Is there any comments that you saw in there other than what you read out, Scott, at all? Any other ones that you wanted to read out for us, maybe? Or anyone else? Or
I think a lot of them we already covered. You know, like No Rest for the Wicked and Plucky Squire and things like that. Obviously, a lot of good picks from the guys there.
Yeah, definitely. And Smokeback saying Plucky Squire, like you say. So Children of the Sun, Crypt of Custodian. Crypt Custodian, it's actually called, just to let you know. I was reading it, I was saying Crypt of the Custodian. Is this the game? Yeah, Crypt Custodian is the one, and it looks fantastic. I played the demo of that as well, by the way. Another demo that was in Steam Nextfest, Crypt Crypt Custodian. Cannot wait for that game big time. The game from the developer of Islets, another Metroidvania. This one's a top-down Metroidvania this time, Crypt Custodian. Should have got that up for today's, but never mind, it's too late now. No Rest for the Wicked. Yeah, loads of great games being shouted out by the chat. And yeah, I think we should probably wind it up there, though. It's been amazing catching up and getting back into the swing of things. This is our re-establishing ourselves back for the podcast on the regular, as I say. We'll have a chat about... It's not going to be a weekly podcast, obviously, like it's never been, but we're going to get it on the regular for you guys, and we'll have a chat about the cadence of that and all that sort of thing. But yes, we will announce that on Twitter, so definitely follow us on Twitter, or X if you prefer. Links all in the description below. But I just want to say thank you very much to the legends that joined me. We are full force today. It's the four of us. It's been amazing to have all four of us together for this. So it's been an amazing time. But thank you very much for being part of this Judsy baby. And yeah, shout out where they can find your awesome channel and where they can find you on Twitter, etc. as well.
Yeah, no worries. You could find me on Twitter by following the crawl that Indy's put there, but he spelt it wrong. So
you're joking.
Don't bother.
Spelt it wrong.
Yeah.
What did I write?
Yeah. It's got 2 eyes.
Did it have 2 eyes? Okay, don't put it with 2 eyes, Scott. Oh my god, I can't believe that. Oh, it's in the link in the description below anyway, in the correct way.
Yeah, link in description below.
Sorry about that.
Music channel. I've done some music recently for Mav on his podcast.
Oh, nice.
I've got something in the works that will be coming out quite soon. Well, we'll see. Something's in development and I'm doing some music. So we will see. But yeah, go check it out. All the links are on there, and yeah, have some fun. Thanks very much. It's been awesome as usual.
Fantastic, buddy. Yeah, well, thank you for being part of it. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you. And I think we should go with Dragon Wolf's idea of calling it Twix instead of Twitter or X. That's a good show, I think. Brilliant. Yeah, no, thanks for being part of it, Juds. Always a great time. Luke, bro, been a pleasure. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be meeting up this year, are we? WAS, I don't think. I don't know about EGX though later in the year, but it's been awesome. EGX maybe?
EGX, yes.
Nice.
WAS, probably not.
Yeah, no worries. That's cool. But yeah, it's been great hanging out with you on the channel again. We will be continuing this trend onward, as I say. But yeah, would you like to shout out where they can find you? And thanks for being part of it.
Yeah, pleasure, mate. Always enjoyable. And yeah, you can find me at LukeSteele90 on Twitter /X. And yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good. Nice and simple, and always concise and to the point. I love it. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, no, it's been great. Good stuff, my friend. Thank you for being part of this podcast going forward, as always. Finally, Scott, my man, great hanging out with you, bro. Thank you for bringing all your great takes, as always. And where can they find you?
I appreciate it, mate. It's been great to chat with you guys for the first time. What feels like forever now. So it's been a pleasure. You can get me on Twitter at SX2 Gaming, and I guess I can maybe just give my other little podcast a little shout out if you don't mind, matey.
Yeah.
Obviously, we obviously focus here on indie games. Obviously, we like to spread the love for indie goodness. But if you do fancy a bit more, maybe on the AAA side of things, then we do talk about all games, big and small, over on a little podcast that me and Luke have been doing called Untitled Games Podcast. Christ, Juds, I couldn't even say it myself, mate. So I'll take back what I said earlier on, pal.
I wasn't going to say anything, but you called it out yourself. You're your own worst enemy.
Rightly so, mate. Yeah, it's just a one we do off the cuff every so often, especially if something big breaks. So if you're interested in hearing me and Luke talk about games even more, then feel free to check that out. We did have Juds on recently as well. And obviously, Indy, hopefully you'll be on that sometime soon as well, mate. That'll be lovely.
Sounds good, guys. I'd love to join you all over there. Hopefully that's the right link and not something random. I've just put your link for your podcast general over in the chat, guys. So if you haven't subbed already,
spelled this one right.
Yeah, I just might click that.
I clicked the link and it doesn't work.
Oh my god, it's the 404. What the hell? Oh, I don't believe this, guys. What's happening?
That's the link to the Suicide Squad trailer, isn't it?
Let me click that link. That's not. Why is it 404 in on me? I don't believe this. I put it in there. I swear to God. Let me get the right link.
Sabotaging everyone else's channel, Judge, isn't he?
Yeah, that's why I tested it. Well, I'm getting it.
He feigns ignorance, but it's very much deliberate, I think, at this point.
It's all good. I'm getting it now to make up for it. Try this one, guys. That's the one to click. And apologies, I will update the chat below. The comments below. Does Judz's work? Let's find out.
I didn't even see a link to Judd's.
No, it doesn't.
It's 404 spot.
Indy.
That's weird because this is a bit odd now. So I don't know what's going on. Because I definitely put I put them in as the where you at the channel, if you know what I mean. I think that's what's happening. I think the @ sign has got in the way because I did at the channel, but then it changed the link for some random reason. Don't know why it's done
Weird.
that. Let me just update in the chat for Juds because that's only fair. Won't be a sec, guys. Just a little bit of dead air for you, that's all. Okay. There we go.
Games podcast.
There we go. It's in there for Judsy Baby now as well, and they will be updated in the comments below for anyone watching after. And thank you very much if you are watching after, by the way. Really appreciate you. Feel free to comment below any sort of games that you've enjoyed this year or you're looking forward to. But yeah, give them a sub on the links that I've put in the chat, guys. It's, you know, a new channel for, you know, both of the guys, I suppose. Well, growing channels is what I should say. So yeah, they deserve to support their legends. So give them a little subs. But yes, thank you very much, everyone who's joined us today. Just shout out a few of you guys quickly. We've got Stumps Gaming joining us. Thank you very much for being here. Paul S, always a pleasure, my friend. So he says none of the links work. Sorry about that. Again, hopefully that's corrected now. And it looks like Dragon Wolf has subbed to somebody down there. Thank you very much for doing that. Who else do we have here? We got UK Dazzy Baby in the house. Thank you very much for coming by, bro. May Suko, great to see you as always. Paul AFC, Thimba. Who else? You have Smoke back in the house. Thimba again, sorry. Mike Carmen joining us. Thank you very much for being here. We had VJ in as well. We had some others before that I can't remember now because the chat's not going any further up. Any others that I've forgotten that you remember, guys? No, probably not. It's hard to remember, isn't it? Let me just see if that goes. No, it doesn't. Cool. But anyone else who did join us, thank you very much for coming by. It means the world. And like I say, I will be dropping my Ultros review soon. It should be over the next few days. And feel free to check that out. It would mean the world. Hope you enjoy it, guys. And otherwise, we'll be back for another podcast, maybe in around a month or so's time. And there'll be videos in the meantime, of course. So if you haven't subscribed already, feel free to subscribe. It would mean the world. And hit that like button, as that certainly helps as well, guys. And it does mean a lot too. But thank you very much for watching, guys. And we will see you in the next one.